Welcome, welcome, one and all. My name is Ben Bowler from Unity Earth, and welcome to this day 2 of the Unity Earth Symposium. What a great joy to be gathering today as a community. We had a magnificent session yesterday for day 1, celebrating World Interfaith Harmony Week, and also reflecting on the journey of many years that has brought us to this pivotal moment. And could not be more excited to be beginning the session day 2 today. These visions for a new earth. We have an incredible lineup of visionaries from around the world, intergenerational, intercultural, interspiritual visions for a new earth. Let me just say a few words about the origins of this term. The prophet Isaiah was an Israelite who lived in the 8th century BC. This is a few hundred years before Confucius and Lao Tzu, before Siddhartha Gautama Buddha, and about 3 centuries before Plato. Isaiah really was an OG of the axial age. And his visions today, his prophecy, which has come as saying, "See, I will create new heavens and a new earth. The former things will not be remembered, nor will they come to mind. Be glad and rejoice forever in what I will create." Now, even though this vision, this prophecy is almost 3 millennia old, it has been echoed throughout history by Peter, the chief apostle, by John the Revelator in the book of Revelations, by Eckhart Tolle, the bestseller, and has been used by so many different groups around the world throughout these last 3 millennia as a symbol and a hope and a promise of what is to come. So today, as we change slightly the text and we change some of the pronouns and the tense, we say, "See, we create new heavens and a new earth. The former things will not be remembered, nor will they come to mind, but be glad and rejoice forever in what we create." Taking the inspiration from the provenance of the prophet Isaiah and bringing it into this now moment as our planet and our civilization faces such extraordinary challenges with unprecedented opportunities. What a joy, what a delight, what a privilege and an honor and an obligation as we gather today to feel into these visions of a new earth. It really is something powerful. And I also will just take a moment to reflect on that incredible call of Isaiah. When Isaiah was a young man in study, and he heard the voice of Yahweh saying, "Whom shall I send? Whom shall I send? My people are in trouble. Who shall I send?" And Isaiah answered, "Hineni, Hineni, here I am, Lord, here I am, send me." And today we as a community are coming together as a collective to say, "Hineni, Hineni, here we are." As our world is in trouble, as our people are in trouble, and as life forms are threatened, and as our Mother Earth is being degraded, and we're looking, and Spirit is looking for whom shall I send. We come together in the spirit of Isaiah and say, "Here we are." So these visions for a new earth, I'm so excited to now introduce Rabbi David Rosen to take us into his vision for a new earth. And Rabbi Rosen is former chief rabbi of Ireland. He's also the Jerusalem-based international director of interreligious affairs of the American Jewish Committee. He's also an international president of Religions for Peace and the Jewish member of the board of directors of the King Abdullah bin Abdulaziz Center for Interreligious Dialogue. If you haven't yet seen it, there is an amazing video of Rabbi Rosen taking us into the original text that I just quoted before from the book of Isaiah, and it's amazing. So we'll make sure we share that out as well. But for now, I would love to introduce Rabbi David Rosen to share with all of us his visions for a new earth. So, David, we're part of the Unity Earth Symposium is asking many different perspectives, intergenerational, intercultural, interfaith viewpoints on what's your vision for a new heaven and a new earth. Now, you've touched on it, a world without oppression, a world in harmony with nature. You've spoken into it a little bit, but just to really open the floor up for you, Rabbi Rosen, what does it look like? I mean, also, let me say, Isaiah, the universal prophet, or certainly one of humanity's universal prophets, famously said, without vision, the people will perish. And it feels like now where the problems we have are so intractable and the vested interests are so potent that sometimes it's easy to despair and to lose hope that we can find a solution. But in the world of vision, we are free. We have freedom to dream. And so I think asking and collecting these collective visions of what does it look like feels like an important point to focus on, rather than focusing on problems, which sometimes don't lead to solutions. What does it look like in a world, according to David Rosen, a new heavens and a new earth?
Well, if you will allow me, David Rosen is nurtured by his own tradition and religious heritage. And therefore, the vision that I would refer to is actually Isaiah's vision. And that vision he describes so eloquently in the chapters of looking forward to a society where the lion and the lamb lie down together with the fatling and the wolf, and there shall be no destruction in all my holy mountain, and the earth shall be full of the knowledge of the Lord as the seas are full of waters, and many nations shall go up to the mountain of the Lord. Of course, Isaiah is particularly fixated on Jerusalem, but on Jerusalem's universal message. This is not a place just for Jews or just for Jews and Christians or just for the children of Abraham. This is a place where many nations, in other words, all the nations of the world, shall go up. And it doesn't have to be understood literally of going up. It means they're ascending in a sense of that consciousness, that awareness of the divine in the world. And it's interesting that Isaiah uses the term many nations. In other words, his vision isn't one of which we've denationalized. It's not John Lennon's vision. Imagine no more countries, it isn't hard to do, nothing to live or die for, or no religions too. John Lennon had, I'm sure, the highest of positive motives when he wrote that particular song. But it's a fallacy to think that you achieve the highest levels of universalism by reducing people to the lowest common denominator. That's not the way to do it. We have to respect identities. We have to respect traditions, heritages, histories. We have to make these, however, tools of embrace of others and of a sense of family, of diversity, in which the inspiration is taken from our particularities for a universal world. And therefore, not to deny whether these are indigenous communities or whether these are Eastern communities or Western communities, not to deny their heritage, but to celebrate that diversity as different manifestations of the divine in our world, which together can contribute to a greater awareness and knowledge and familiarity with the divine in the world, and therefore inspiring us to a world of respect for our neighbor, for peoples, for different cultures, for different religions, and respect for the different creatures that are part of God's wonderful creatures, sentient beings, respect for the natural world that is a manifestation of the divine. That is the messianic ideal. That's the goal. That's precisely what Isaiah has in mind. It may not be exactly the way I'm defining it, but in essence, that's precisely what he is striving for. And what's really important about these messianic visions is what they lead us to, what they point us to. It's really interesting. I think it's Psalm 32, there's a wonderful phrase. Who is the person who seeks life and who loves days to do good? Keep your tongue from evil and your lips from speaking guile. Turn from evil and do good, seek peace and pursue it. Well, there's a lot to unpack in that verse, but what I want to particularly focus on is seek peace and pursue it. there's an interesting comment of this of our ancient Talmudic sages that it means that peace is something that is unique in that you have to seek it in one place and pursue it in another place. And nothing else is spoken of in that particular language. But that's not terribly satisfactory. It still seems to be a little bit superfluous. What do you mean, seek it and pursue it? If I seek it, then I've got it, haven't I? That's precisely the point that the psalmist is trying to tell us. That peace is not an end moment. Peace is a pursuit. To seek peace means to continuously pursue it. And it means continuously striving for that ideal of consciousness, awareness of the divine as manifest in the other community, in the other people, in the other religion, in the diversity of the natural world, in animal life, in sentient beings, in the inanimate world, in the cosmos around us, seeking our constantly that sense of the divine, which is the real meaning of the word shalom, because the word shalom that we translate as peace comes from the Hebrew root shalem, which means whole, which means complete, to be a fully integrated, healthy, physically and spiritual person, and for our cosmos to be a healthy, physical and spiritual cosmos in which we live.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Rabbi David Rosen, for that extraordinary and exhilarating vision for a new earth. And, I'm struck by, as we all hold these visions for a new earth, we don't have to agree on everything. For example, some people will think that the best possible solution would be to not have countries. David's talking about a vision where the nations are finding their own evolutionary purpose and highest order. So isn't it fun to describe and to discuss and to dream what these various visions of a whole healed planetary civilization in harmony with all of life can look like? What a wonderful beginning. Thank you, Rabbi David Rosen. Our next speaker is the extraordinary Miss Audrey Kitagawa. Audrey is the founder and president of the International Academy for Multicultural Cooperation, president of the Light of Awareness International Spiritual Family, and the chair of the Anti-Racism Initiative, co-chair of the Gender Equality Working Group of the G20 Interfaith Forum, a UN representative for the United Religions Initiative, and ambassador of Religions for Peace International. Audrey, it's so wonderful to have you back on the Unity Earth Symposium, and we look forward to hearing your visions for a new earth.
Thank you so much, Ben, and hello everyone from New York City. I really wish to express my deepest appreciation to be with all of you today and to have this opportunity and privilege to listen to and to share our respective visions for a new earth. And we come from all walks of life, from all countries, and there are now 8 billion people facing unprecedented global challenges. And this is the first time in our history that there are this many people living on Earth. With this many people, we have hurled ourselves into the Anthropocene age in which humans have become central drivers of planetary change, and we have radically altered the Earth's biosphere. Every day, we are experiencing the effects of the changes we created on Earth's biosphere. And more than ever, we are inextricably connected to each other and the planet. And human actions have driven us to our current situation, and human actions must steer us to enlightened solutions. We are standing within the field of infinite possibilities of our individual and collective potentiality. And what we do today and every day of our lives becomes the trajectory of our future that in turn will become our legacy. A vision for a new earth must go hand in hand with a vision for a new humanity, a global community of humans who will plant and harvest the fruits of peace, nonviolence, love, and kindness. A global community of humans who have remembered our sacred connection to the divine source, from whence we all came and to where we will all return and exist together at all times within. And we must understand the importance of honoring our sacred relationship with the earth that is home to our human family and all of life. This global community will understand the importance of moving with wisdom, a wisdom based on the full development of our spiritual lives, our ethics, our moral compass, and of our hearts to love. Our spiritual development means that we are willing to grow in self-awareness and be in relationship to ourselves that demonstrates we have identified what gives our life meaning and purpose. Self-awareness helps us to identify what gives us hope, resilience, and comfort. The development of our spiritual selves help us to get off narrow stands of intolerance and perspectives and moves us to understanding and being present for others with a listening ear and being that presence of kindness to hear what is truly being shared. The development of our spiritual lives is to expand our awareness and educate ourselves with different ethnic, racial, cultural, and religious groups so we can grow our knowledge about who lives with us as our neighbor in our common home. Our visions for a new earth will speak of our ability to cooperate with each other and bring about the awakening of the global giant of civil society becoming one of the primary agents of transformation of humanity. And this is why I really celebrate the opportunity for all of us to be together. And I do thank you so much, Ben, for creating this venue and this platform for all of us to be that expression and modeling coming together as a human family of civil society agents. I had a wonderful friend named Hans-Peter Dürr, may he rest in peace, who was a nuclear and quantum physicist. He went all around the world speaking about the importance of cooperation. Cooperation, cooperation, cooperation was his mantra. He spoke about how in the unseen world, the bosons and the photons all work cooperatively together to help sustain the universe. In the same vein, he felt that it was most important for people to be able to understand the importance of cooperating with each other. You know, Ben began this conversation with reference to Lord Buddha and from Isaiah, the Old Testament. And David Rosen shared about his own faith tradition and to celebrate our diversity of the divine in our world, which together can contribute to the familiarity with the divine in the world. And what our faith traditions do is set the universal truths to guide us and to deal with our egoic selves and to move to the higher consciousness that is that unitive consciousness where we transcend the illusion of our separation from each other. Rabbi Rosen also shared about Chalet, which is the whole, the spiritual cosmos in which we live. He is articulating the truth of this oneness. You know, Sri Chinmoy said, let us not worry about the future. Let us only do the right thing today at this moment, here and now. And if we do the right thing now, there is a certitude that the future will take care of itself because of all the right actions taken by each of us and collectively moving toward the fulfillment of our purpose in life, that which gives us meaning, and that is to awaken to our true purpose, and that is to realize the divine presence within ourselves and without as the infinite manifestation of all that is creation. And to realize that our relationship with the divine is a sacred relationship, and that relationship is an expression through all of the multitude of the manifestation of the creative genius of the divine that paints a picture every day of the beautiful rising sun and of the beautiful setting sun and of all the infinite flowers and the abundance of the trees and the birds and the bees and all of the different colors of human beings. There is such genius that exists within and all around us. And may we move with gratitude and appreciation for the fantastic life that we have. And when we move with this gratitude, which I shared about yesterday as being essential to our development of our spiritual selves, that we may move through the world with humility and great love. Thank you so much, Ben.
Thank you so much, Audrey Kitagawa, for being with us both yesterday and today, live in person, with such extraordinary offerings. We are so richly blessed by your presence and by your wisdom and by your light, and all the things that you are doing around the world through the International Academy for Multicultural Cooperation, so many projects and films, and the support that you're giving to so much that's emerging in this moment of birthing a new earth right here on our beloved Mother Earth. Thank you so much, Audrey, for everything you do, and deep bows of gratitude to you. Wonderful. Our next speaker is an amazing young activist. Nazreen Sheikh is an international speaker and advocate for global human rights. Her story about how she escaped child labor and modern-day slavery has been published in Forbes, Amnesty International, and Cosmopolitan magazine. She now leads a grassroots charity called Empowerment Collective, with the goal of ending modern-day slavery by advocating 7 keys for global human rights. In her video message, Nazreen is joined by Sahin Pravin and Binita Lama from Empowerment Collective. I'll also mention Nazreen has been supported and mentored by Purpose Earth. We're also a sponsor of this program and Unity Earth. So Nazreen, over to you and your colleagues. Nazreen Sheikh.
Hello everyone, Namaste. My name is Nazreen Sheikh. I'm the founder of Empowerment Collective and Local Women's Handicraft. I'm also the survivor of modern-day slavery. Today, over 50 million people remain in modern-day slavery. I'm one of the survivors. And today, I'm here in the land of Lord Buddha. This is the land, this is the place where Lord Buddha was born. That's the house, that's where he took a birthplace right there. And today, as I'm here, I'm feeling that his message was all about unity and bringing the world together and enlightenment and peace. And my question is why, as his hundreds and thousands of years ago, his message was that, and yet today still more than ever, millions and millions of people are suffering. What can we do about it? So I feel like it is very, very important for the world governments, for those 1% of the populations who holds the majority of the wealth. They really need to open their heart, and they need to learn how to channel those monies and redistribute that wealth to the most vulnerable communities of the planet. And I'm not asking them to give them as a charity, but help set up a systems where every children that born in this planet have access to basic human rights, which is an environment like this, a protected environment, clean water, nutritious food, safe shelters, healthcare, quality education, and access to technology so we can talk and communicate and connect together. So I believe that in order to really enlighten the humanity, in order to unite the world, our planet, we must provide every children on this planet access to basic human rights and eradicate modern day slavery from the root. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you. Hello, namaste everyone. My name is Shahin Praveen and I'm in Lumbini, where is the Buddha born. And I seen here is such a beautiful and so peaceful. And I would like to say to all over the world people, when I going for the distribute for food package, for usable sanitary pad, giving the backpack, but I seen the people, they don't have anything. So I believe that the 7 keys is the most important things. What I seen here, people give the charity for the temple, people give the charity in where there is no one need. But I believe the human needs those things, that 7 keys is the most important for the human. And what I seen, people give the charity, but they don't understand. And I believe all the soul are the Buddha, and Buddha is we are. And first, they need to make us to clean and good environment and to provide that 7 keys. So Buddha is not in this place. Buddha is all the human women have inside. That's all what I want to say, and I would like to say to everyone to support that 7 keys, what is most important. And we don't need to go all the temple. That we need to just understand the human is the Buddha, human is the in Hindu, and human is the in Christian and in Muslim too. Thank you.
Namaste, my name is Binta Lama. I am from Local Women's Handicraft. Today I am at a place of Lord Buddha born place, and yes, I'm going to talking about our 7 keys, and in which I feel like protected environment is very much important, as our Lord Buddha gave us a message: never be harm on people, always keep our environment surrounding, and we should keep our main focus on how to keep our environment safe, how we can protect it for human which are near toward us. So we should always protect our environment. In a way we can protect people also, keep peace and healthy to our environment also. So please try as much as we all can to protect our environment. Thank you.
You are muted, Ben.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much, Nazreen, Binta, and Sahin. What a beautiful message, and right there from Lumbini. And it's potent and auspicious to have the spirit of Lord Buddha here as we begin this day of reflecting on visions for a new earth, and they're from the birthplace of Buddha. Yesterday, one of the pilgrimages we remembered was a trip to Sarnath, which was the place of Lord Buddha's first sermon. So thank you again, Nazreen, Binta, Sahin, for the incredible work that you are doing and for that most auspicious message today. And we would encourage people to look up the Empowerment Collective and incredible work they are doing to end human slavery. Thank you so much, and thank you to Laura Rose for mentoring and connecting Nazreen to us all. Our next speaker, Khushwant Singh, is founder of the Sikh Council and founding member of the Interfaith Council Frankfurt, and served as its president from 2014 to 2017. He's engaged in youth work and publishes articles with a focus on spiritual wisdom, Gurmat, which is at the heart of Sikhi ethics, sustainability, and the global challenges facing humanity. Khushwant Singh.
So from the perspective of a Sikh, being in tune with the divine through spiritual wisdom is key to transform and heal. And it is very important to understand that we always have to start from within. We have to clean the pollution inside to clean the pollution outside. Technical solutions alone will not help us. Both need to go hand in hand. The wisdom to understand what is the right thing to do, and then the technology that is needed to complement that inner wisdom. So what we need is a vision that brings us together as humankind, a vision that transcends the human-made ideologies and boundaries. So the very realization that we are guests on this planet is key. We don't mess around at someone's house whom we visit as guests. So this Mother Earth is the living room for all sentient beings. So it is not only our responsibility, but it is deeply ingrained in us to actually live in harmony with nature, with Mother Earth. The other thing which is important to understand is that why should we decorate a hospital? Would we do this when we go to a hospital? No, what we want is to leave that hospital as soon as possible, because we simply go there to heal and then return home. Spiritual people understand that this is not our home. It is the diaspora we all live in, and we all want to return home, heal and return to the spiritual realm we all originally belong to. So there's no need to accumulate wealth, to decorate this hospital more and more, and to make it into a luxury place. What we need is a way which is full of dignity, yes, but what we also need is a clarity. What is the goal? What is the purpose of life? And for spiritual people, the purpose of life doesn't end with this body. It doesn't end with this life. So there's hope and optimism amongst us that we will eventually overcome all challenges that we are facing, that we will return home as healed, as united people. This is something the enlightened ones of the Sikh tradition say. We have come to unite, we have come to heal, but for this we need to look inside. We need to be very honest, and we need humbleness, and we need understanding that it is suffice to have a nice home, to have a vehicle to go from A to B, but not more. So if we all are willing to sacrifice a little bit, we can do a lot to achieve more justice, to make sure that no child, no baby, no woman, no man have to suffer because they are not getting the food they need, because they are not living in an environment which is clean. So let us unite. Let all of us collaborate with all the constraints we may have in our personal life, in our professional lives. But let us try this, and I thank the organizers of this symposium of Unity Earth for bringing people from diverse backgrounds together, but making sure that we all follow one mission, Unity Earth. This is our mission. We want to unite and heal. Thank you.
Satnam. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Khushwant Singh, for that beautiful, resonant, and powerful message. And Khushwant is doing amazing work in the world through his organization, and Unity Earth is proud to be associated with the work that Khushwant is doing. Partnership on Religion and Sustainability, funded by the German government. So some very interesting work being done globally there. Our next speaker, Shelley Ostroff, is known to many of you as a planetary activist, leadership consultant, social architect, and writer. Shelley is the founder of Eco Governance, Codes for a Healthy Earth, the global annual 7 Days of Rest event, the Global Alliance for a World Water Law, Together in Creation, and other initiatives dedicated to the healing and replenishment of the planet and all its inhabitants. So let's hear Shelley Ostroff's vision for a new Earth.
Greetings, everyone, and thank you for this opportunity to be part of this vision circle. I'd like to offer into this circle a vision for a practical pathway of how we can unify and work together to realize our shared aspirations for a new Earth. The vision of the new Earth, calling us forward as I see it, can be encapsulated in its essence as a thriving world for all of life. and eco-governance is offered as a unifying framework to support its fullest manifestation in the shortest possible time. To co-create a thriving world for all will require humanity to unite and organize around entirely new systems that are rooted in love, wisdom, and a reverence for all of life. The knowledge and solutions to address our global challenges already exist. Today, there are countless initiatives around the world that demonstrate direct pathways for rapid social and ecological regeneration. When we organize effectively, exponential healing can occur. So how can we practically co-create the new Earth we all aspire to? How do we apply the reality of our interconnectedness with all of creation to how we organize ourselves as a life-enriching species? What can we learn from nature about cultivating thriving living systems? What would it look like if we were to apply our ancient and evolving wisdom to inventing fundamentally new systems of governance that protect and benefit all of life? These questions are at the heart of eco-governance, an architecture for a natural way of organizing ourselves as a species. As a whole system healing framework, eco-governance works to realign all our social systems with the principles of nature and evolving human consciousness. Eco-governance invites us to relinquish most of our familiar maps of reality and return to essence by focusing on that which is essential and nourishing to all of life. Eco-governance affirms that the only legitimate purpose of governance is to protect and cultivate the health and vitality of the planet and all its inhabitants for generations to come. This purpose informs all our social systems, including economy, law, education, media, technology, etc. Governance is no longer located in external authorities or institutions. It is a community-led function that all are invited to engage in. With this shared purpose, the health of the whole becomes the core discernment principle for all our decisions. As we reclaim our intrinsic authority to follow the compass of our hearts and the good of the whole, we learn to realign with the ancient wisdom of indigenous cultures, always taking into account our impact on future generations. In nature, every ecosystem, including the human body, organizes vast complexity with exquisite elegance and efficiency through codes that permeate all of life. The Vitality Code refers to nature's primary code that ensures all parts of a living system receive precisely what they need in order to manifest their unique potential in mutual nourishment with the interconnected whole. Imagine a world where all living beings and ecosystems receive what they need to give all they can to become all they are. Inspired by nature, the Vitality Code is the core organizing principle of eco-governance. As we learn to organize according to the Vitality Code, we discover the vast diversity and complementarity of our core needs and our multifaceted gifts. We cultivate a culture of mutual care, empathy, accountability, gratitude, generosity, and healthy abundance for all. Eco-governance suggests 4 primary tasks as foundational to whole system health and healing. Focusing our collective attention on these 4 tasks has the potential to address all our most urgent global challenges simultaneously. The first primary task of eco-governance is to restore right relationship with the foundations of life: earth, water, fire, air, climate, biodiversity, and the web of life. The second primary task of eco-governance is to ensure the core needs of all humans and animals are met through guaranteed access to living soil, healthy water, vitalizing food, fresh, clean air, physical and emotional safety, comfortable shelter, and the conditions needed to manifest our unique potential in mutual nourishment with all of life. The third primary task of eco-governance is to ensure the most vitalizing flow of energy and information throughout human society and the planetary biosphere. And the fourth primary task is to co-evolve the social spheres of culture and consciousness in ways that nourish the health of the whole. The structure of eco-governance is based on interdependent community-led circles that organize around issues related to the primary tasks. The three main types of stewardship circles are action circles, advisory circles, and service circles. Mapping the needs, challenges, opportunities, and resources related to our diverse interconnected issues allows the whole to see the whole and to work collaboratively within and between circles. Decisions are based on that which is most efficient, vitalizing, impactful, and compassionate. Circles cultivate a culture of deep consultation, engaging diverse perspectives that represent the human and non-human stakeholders in all discernment and decision-making processes. The implementation of eco-governance will be supported by a sophisticated online community platform. We, Jan Golding, the co-steward of eco-governance, and I, hope that this architecture can support the global movement in unifying and working together effectively for exponential whole system healing. We are deeply grateful to Unity Earth for its ongoing commitment to cultivating spaces for unity and unified action.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Dr. Shelley Ostroff, for that wholesome vision of eco-governance. There's a lot there that is very compelling and attractive. I love those three themes: abundance, generosity, and gratitude as hallmarks of this new way of being together on the earth and with the earth. Thank you again, Shelley, for that vision. Our next speaker, again, is known to many, Dr. Lila June Johnson, as an Indigenous musician, author, and community organizer of Diné, Navajo, and Tsetsahes Cheyenne and European lineages. Their multi-genre presentation style has engaged audiences across the globe towards personal, collective, and ecological healing. Let's hear from Lila June, her vision for a new earth.
What does a transformed, healed, healthy planet look like? I always like these questions because they force us to get out of the mindset of what's wrong, and like sometimes we're so absorbed, and I'm so absorbed in what's wrong that if someone asked me what I wanted, I wouldn't know what to say. So I appreciate this exercise, but to me, what it would look like is, for one thing, all the Native peoples who are living in reservations right now outside of their traditional homelands, like for example, Oklahoma in the United States, all of the tribes there are not even from there. So in a perfect world, to me, all of these tribes would have massive land bases returned to them of their traditional original homeland, some of whom are in Illinois, some of whom are in Texas, some of whom are way over in Pennsylvania or what have you. And now they're in Oklahoma and they've been there for 180 years or something and living like refugees right now in their own homeland. So in a perfect world, all of these tribal nations would have substantial land bases of their original homelands returned to them. And not just the worst ones that we don't mind letting go, but like decent, good land bases. And so that all of these native nations in the US who are living on reservations, not of their original lands, living like refugees, are actually in places that they're more happy in and that they belong in. And so that is number one. Number two, Native nations would be in charge of some really important policy making bodies. Like, for example, traditionally trained Native peoples, not the business committees of the tribal governments, that are essentially doing the same thing as Eurocentric culture. But the traditionally trained Indigenous elders would have leadership positions in fish and wildlife, as we call it, in the U.S. Department of Agriculture, as we call it. They'd have positions within even governance, governing bodies. How do we help the governance structures look more like what Native governance structures look like, where the grandmothers have a say, where the elders have a say, where the women are leading. Native nations would have huge positions within education policy bodies of what does our education look like? How are our children treated? What do our schools look like? What's being taught in schools? And for that matter, every, I guess you could say ethnicity within the US would have large, important decision-making positions so that the schools are reflecting the various cultures that our kids come from. And they're not just the Eurocentric way of teaching and learning and just the Eurocentric content that we learn, but we're learning stuff from the Yoruba tradition. We're learning stuff from the Vietnamese traditions. We're learning stuff from all the beautiful Ayurvedic, various cultures of India are reflected in the US school systems. We would have people of different cultures in these important policy-making positions, so that the designers of our world are the same people who are in our world, and not everyone is having to be, beholden to the designers who are all Eurocentric, which is important too, but we can't have everyone, all the designers of our systems be of this culture. That's a monoculture. That's a culture that's just that one. So I think, the architects and the designers of our societies, aka our policymakers, aka our leaders, that there would be a lot of indigenous peoples, first and foremost. Literally first in place, first in right is what a lot of people are saying is this is our homeland. Yes, every culture matters, every language matters, but you still stand behind us. Let us lead. And then we have the other cultures there. Instead, it's the opposite, right? Like Native people are the last people to be thought of. Asian Americans and Black Americans are thought of before we are. They're put in positions before we are, which I'm not trying to play any kind of competition or anything, but just saying like it's all upside down. When this is our homeland, we ought to be leading things here. Pretty much. When immigrants come here, they shouldn't be asking Joe Biden or whomever how to live here. They should be asking us. This is our land. This is our people. This is our institutions that once thrived here. And we were really good at it. So maybe give us a chance again. And, everyone's had their chance for 500 years. It just hasn't worked out. Another thing in a perfect world is, women would be safe. I say that having been abused as a woman. I say that having committed lateral violence against my sisters because all I knew was abuse. But learning more and more in my 20s and now in my 30s, how important it is that women are safe, and how important it is that they're not touched really at all, like be respectful of their space. If you're a man who doesn't really know her, don't go pat her on the back or touch her ear or her hair, even if it's just in a friendly way. That's an intrusion of her space. And we have to deal with that all the time, with guys just walking up to us and telling us to smile more and getting up in our face and even just touching our shoulder. That's an intrusion. And we've come to just normalize it. But what if we lived in a world where women were truly honored and their space was always asked permission? Even if it's just a hug, if you ask permission, if it's a woman you don't know, may I give you a hug? And if not, it's okay. You know what? Let's live in a world where that becomes normal. That's just my opinion, but I feel like most women would agree. So those are things I see in a healed world.
Beautiful. Thank you, Dr. Lila June Johnson. Amazing insights in there. A world where Indigenous voices and Indigenous wisdom is first and foremost. and a world where women are universally respected. Beautiful. Here in Australia, there is a big conversation right now discussing an Indigenous voice to Parliament, which is raising a lot of issues around this very same topic that Lila June was speaking into there. So very, very, very insightful, very relevant. Thank you, Lila June. Our next speaker is live with us, which is a great joy. Emmanuel Kunzelman is a social entrepreneur, writer, motivational speaker, and an activist for purpose. He is a founding co-creator of the Global Purpose Movement, which has merged with Unity Earth, and this partnership has now launched Purpose Earth, of which Emmanuel is the volunteer director. Purpose Earth, of course, is also a major sponsor of Unity Earth, and so this event owes its existence to the generosity of Emmanuel, Laura, and Purpose Earth. Emmanuel is also the instigator and the visionary, though he may not be so happy with me saying this, of the emerging Hollow movement, which is a very exciting, dynamic arising, which next month will be a very powerful gathering in Sedona, and a book that will be launched, Igniting the Hollow Movement. So Emmanuel and Laura, welcome to the Unity Earth Symposium. Thank you for staying up late to be with us. It's a pleasure and a privilege to have you with us, and we look forward to hearing your visions for a new Earth.
Well, thank you, Ben. Very, very kind, an eloquent introduction, and it's our pleasure to be here and share this time with all of you today in this extraordinary event. And to start off, I'd like to have Laura Rose, my lovely wife and partner and co-founder of everything we do together, to say a few words and focus on our sponsor here tonight, Purpose Earth. So, Laura, why don't you share a few thoughts on it?
Thanks, Curtin. It's so wonderful to be with all of you here tonight. I'm so moved by extraordinary wisdom, beauty, and hope that's in this room, this incredible virtual room that we're all sharing together. And I'm so deeply inspired by what our potential is. 3 years ago, we began working with Ben and Peter Blaise Corcoran, who's somewhere in this room right now, and so many other extraordinary people, Lawrence Singer, working on Purpose Earth. And Purpose Earth provides grants and mentorship opportunities to brilliant people with incredibly practical solutions to some of the most challenging issues that are facing them and their communities today. And what is so extraordinary to me is how little investment it takes to create an opportunity for people to solve their own issues, for people to actually take something into their own hands and make a difference. And what we've seen in the course of 3 years is over 30 grant recipients who have been enabled to do things like provide clean drinking water for 5 villages in Kenya and for their livestock and their children. And now we're aspiring to get solar panels to be able to run that filtration system, even when the energy blackouts go rolling through, which is frequent. And to speaking to the rights of women and the potential of women, there's so many beautiful projects that we've been able to help provide support to, like She is the Universe, which gives a voice to young women around the planet to help them recognize their leadership skills and capabilities. And to a small school in the Dominican Republic, which is bringing children, street children, into a warm and safe environment every day, where they're provided with 2 nutritious meals, with books, with playgrounds, an area to be nurtured and to be supported. And these are just a handful of the many, many projects that we've been able to help support through all of your generosity and through so many others. And as I look at the experience that I've had over 35 years in cultural exchange, I realize, having worked with young people from around the planet, that there is a spirit for volunteerism and for helping out that has never existed like it has today. And I think Americans for all of our faults in many ways, have a very special capability to that regard. And what I've seen children from countries in the Far East, all over the world, come to the United States and say that they would never consider working for free, that they would never consider doing something without pay. And yet we've encouraged them and said, please try volunteering just for a few minutes, just try volunteering. And many of them ended up volunteering hundreds of hours that they were able to clock and be recognized for, and went home to their home countries in Tajikistan, Kazakhstan, places all over the world, and start volunteer projects in their home countries. So for all of the millions of people that are suffering right now, there are also millions and millions more who are ready and prepared to roll up their sleeves and to pitch in and to be a part of an extraordinary solution that all of us in this room have been a part of from the very beginning.
Thank you, Laura, and thank all of you for being here tonight and helping us do this together. You know, and as we contemplate a new earth, a new beginning, a whole movement, a thrust into the future, indeed, a new species of humanity, really, whatever it takes to bring us together here in this World Interfaith Harmony Week, we might consider the notion of faith and see it through to its deepest level. And maybe we all have our individual faiths, but what makes it interfaith is that we all have faith in the future, faith in the spirit and the goodness of humanity to bring us together and find what we share in our faith. All of us on the same line of honoring the divine source that brought us here. And as we think of harmony, we also think it's not about singing the same note. Indeed, harmony is created by some singing high and some singing low. But if we're singing the same song, the music that comes out is that harmony in between, the perfect conjunction of different tones, and that we sing together in the same song as you. So keep the faith in the future, find the love in your heart, and let's truly sing it all together, this time here for the Interfaith Harmony for many years to come. Thank you for the opportunity to share this time with you all tonight, and we look forward to many future celebrations together.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Laura Rose and Emmanuel Kunzelman, for your sharing. And thank you for all of your gifts of generosity to empower this movement that is growing and getting stronger and connecting. And we're very excited about events coming up next month in person, both in Arizona and in California. And on we roll, on we go, on we grow, in large part thanks to both of you. So the deep bows for being with us tonight and sharing the beautiful work of Purpose Earth and the inspiring message of harmony. Thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you, Laura, and see you very, very shortly. Our next speaker is a young Australian. How wonderful. Ruby Levitt is 12 years old. She attends Redham House in Sydney, Australia. She's an aspiring young artist who has achieved numerous successes with her art. We're going to see some of Ruby's art today. Here in Australia and internationally, she's been recognized for her art. Ruby is an active young philanthropist who gives her time each week to feed and support the hungry and socially disadvantaged people of Sydney, just like Laura was just sharing with us. Ruby Levitt, it's a great honor to have you with us. I believe you might have even skipped school to be with us today, or at least a part of school, but thank you so much, Ruby, for being with us, and we're really looking forward to hearing what you have to share.
My name is Ruby Levitt. I'm a student at Redham House School in Sydney, Australia. I speak before you humbled to be asked to participate as a representative of the youth of today, and in recognising the significance of this gathering for the Global Unity Earth Symposium 2023. I'm both proud and fortunate to have been brought up in a country that recognizes its traditional owners. In doing so, I acknowledge and pay my respect to the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation and their elders past, present, and emerging. Just this weekend, I was jumping in the waves of our world-famous Bondi Beach, and I could not help but feel that I was sharing this experience with so many others, many with different cultures and backgrounds to me. We are a growing nation that truly embraces harmony, diversity, and multicultural coexistence. I truly believe we are all born the same. Just saying these words can prompt some doubt in our minds to those that hear it. Though if we stop and slow our thoughts down a little, take some time to listen and think, the doubt in our minds can slowly disintegrate. We can all agree that no infant is born with prejudice of any kind. We enter this world screaming out for our basic needs: nutrition, warmth, and rest. Soon enough, we discover love, the unconditional gift we hope every child receives from their parents. One which my parents tell me I will only truly understand when I am a parent myself and have a child of my own. At birth, we are typically assigned a religion. It is most likely based on our parents' traditional or non-traditional faith. It may even be based on where we are born, and whether or not religion and freedom of expression and faith is even permitted. We are assigned a biological sex at birth, and we are fortunate to now live in a world of understanding where people can identify not just beyond the traditional mold relating to their sexuality, but their gender too. The financial circumstances of our country of birth, or the family we are born into, introduces different opportunities and many differences too. Going back to our birth, our first connection we experienced was love. As we grow, we experience more connections. These influences shape us, the things we see, the judgments made around us, the actions of those we look up to. All of this begins to shape us to be different, and this is the basis of doubt in my opening remarks. Let's change tact a little. Do we all want to be the same? Robots? Trained to think like something from a comic book? Of course not. One of the influences I've been brought up to appreciate is the blessing of free thought and speech and religion. This is suppressed in many countries around the world. This is something that we are able to and proud to celebrate in Australia. I think it is a blessing that we are all different. Differences are essential in our world. This is the fundamental basis of freedom of expression and belief. As we navigate the journey of life, various connections and influences shape us to what we are today. There is no reason why we should be unable to continue a dialogue to expand who we are in the future, to care more, to share more, and to love more. Love is the first connection we experienced as infants, at a point when we were all the same. It is the one that should continue to guide us moving forward together and in harmony. And though dialogue and ongoing connection should be the powerful element of influence that we continue to invite into our now stronger minds, this message is reflected in my various artworks that I have created around the theme of peace and harmony. My paintings represent the ability for people from all cultures and all walks of life to coexist and to respect one another. The underlying message of the art is to remind us that no matter what our personal circumstances are, we should all be given a fair go in life. I feel so privileged to have been included in the Global Unity Earth Symposium, and in concluding my presentation today, I offer you my promise to help spread the message of promoting unity, purpose, and peace. Thank you.
This is some of your beautiful art, Ruby. Do you want to speak about this piece just for a moment? Tell us what is this is. We know by the way, we met you through the wonderful organization May Peace Prevail on Earth and Fumi Johns. Thank you, Fumi. And tell us, Ruby, this piece I think won an award. What would you like to say about this piece that we're seeing on the screen? Well, we've lost your. I think we've lost Ruby's ability to, even though you're unmuted, Oh, sorry, we can't hear you. It's okay. It's okay. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. That was a wonderful presentation, Ruby. It is very brave to step forward in a forum like this as a 12-year-old and share such wisdom and such amazing maturity of insight and understanding. We're very grateful to you, Ruby, to your mum and dad as well, and to the school for allowing you to present to us today. That meant so much, and I know it touched everybody. And meant a lot. I think you're perhaps our youngest presenter ever in this forum. So we look forward to staying in touch with you and working for those values that you mentioned of unity, purpose, and peace. We send all our gratitude to you, Ruby. Thank you for sharing. That was absolutely amazing. And that beautiful art that we saw at the end was a piece that Ruby had created. What a talent. And what a wonderful moment of optimism to hear from a 12-year-old, the spirit of unity, of intercultural diversity, of respect for indigenous, ancestral belonging to the land, and such a big heart and such a beautiful mind. Thank you for sharing with us today. Our next speaker in the symposium, isn't it wonderful to hear all these beautiful visions for a new earth coming together like a kaleidoscope of wonder and beauty and truth and goodness. Patrick Carolyn is a Catholic activist, writer, and storyteller. He served as the executive director of the Franciscan Action Network, co-founded the Global Catholic Climate Movement, the Faithful Democracy Coalition, and the Catholics Vote Common Good organization. Patrick is also a co-host of mine with Religion to the Rescue Zoomcasting. And Patrick, it's great to have you here with us today at this special symposium, day 2, looking at visions for a new earth.
Well, thank you, Ben. And I'm just very blessed and honored and grateful to be here as part of this Unity Earth. I also want to just say something about Rudy's talk and her presentation. You know, a lot of times when you're speaking, you worry that you're going to be following somebody who you cannot compete with at all. And so that's how I feel about following her talk now. But I'll do the best that I can. I'm grateful to be here and to be part of imagining a vision for a new earth. Last year, I published an article, and I started it by saying, imagine you woke up this morning, went through your morning ritual, and opened your emails. And you noticed that there was an email where the sender was listed as God. At first, you thought it was spam, but curiosity got the better of you. So you opened it up and you said, this is God. I've decided that it's time to get started building creation, building heaven on earth. Please let me know what your vision is and how we can get serious and start. I think Ben must have gotten that email. And I think many of you must have also gotten an email or a note or a sense, a feeling that now is the time, because we're all here together to imagine this new vision of Earth. 35 years ago, Thomas Berry, a Catholic priest and the founder of the modern day Christian eco-spirituality movement, wrote in The Dream of Earth, the deepest crisis experienced by any society are those moments of change when a story becomes inadequate for meeting the survival needs of the present situation. We've reached that point. Our story does not work anymore. I'm a Christian. I'm a follower and practitioner of Franciscan spirituality. As Christians, we sometimes think and we believe that our sacred stories began and ended some 2,000 years ago. We created a story that put us at the top of the hierarchical pyramid, a story that teaches that our only purpose now and here is to get to there, where and whatever the there is. Everything we do is important only insofar as it helps us to get there. It's a story centered on individual redemption and salvation, a story where we are what matters, and the rest of creation is only here to help us get to there. The rest of creation has no intrinsic value of its own, and we wonder why we are living in a time of conflict and polarization. Teilhard de Chardin wrote, "Evolve or be annihilated." When he wrote that, he wasn't just talking about physical evolution. He was talking about evolving our spirituality. Our sacred stories are not static. They didn't start and end thousands of years ago. In our new earth, every moment of our lives will be part of our sacred story. Reimagining our sacred stories. He was talking about reimagining our sacred stories. Some 800 years ago, St. Francis of Assisi and St. Clare talked about a new spiritual vision for Earth. Their vision integrated love of God, love of our neighbor, and love of the earth. Francis believed that all creatures had spirituality and that we, through God, are part and connected to all creation. In his poem, Prayer, the Canticle of Creation, he praised brother sun, sister water. He wrote, "Be praised, my Lord, for sister earth, our mother, who nourishes us and sustains us, bringing forth fruits and vegetables and many kinds of flowers in many colors." The Sufi teacher Llewellyn Van Lee says, "The world is not a problem to be solved. It is a living being to which we belong. The world is part of our own self, and we are part of its suffering wholeness." There's a prayer that is the most frequently prayed prayer in Christianity, called the Lord's Prayer. Christians pray this prayer every single day. And part of it says, "Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven." So if we want to imagine a vision for a new earth, we just have to think about our vision for heaven and what is heaven like. Often when a person dies, we hear and use the expression, "He's in a better place now." We shouldn't have to die to go to a better place. The beauty is that if we envision and create this new vision of earth, this new heaven on earth, we won't have to wait till we die to get there. My vision is an earth where we do not look around and see the other, but as St. Francis taught us, everywhere we are, we see sister and brother. Wherever we are, whether we're in the middle of Manhattan, surrounded by 1 million people, or in the middle of the woods with just trees and birds, we are surrounded and we see sister and brother. Thank you for, again, allowing me to be here. I also just wanted to mention, I'm coming from Connecticut in the United States, the land of the Quinnipiac people, who were part of the Algonquin Nation, who we learned most of our democracy from. So thank you, and peace and all good.
Thank you so much, Patrick. Thank you very much for being with us. And the life and the vision of St. Francis was all about the constitution of a new heaven and a new earth. And just in brief, when I asked Rabbi David Rosen, about the original text of Isaiah, he said, it's not I will create, but I am creating. So that understanding that it is a constant unfolding, eternal moment of creation, which, by the way, is very resonant with the spirituality and philosophy of David Bohm, which is the ideas behind the Hollow movement. So there are so many of these things that are coming together and intersecting in this particular moment. Thank you, Patrick, for being with us once again and sharing the spirit of St. Patrick. Hey, we've got Buddha, St. Patrick, all the great sages and saints, Guru Nanak. I mean, all are with us on this side, the great leaders of indigenous communities, really with us in this quest, in this journey. What a tremendous unstoppable force. Our next speaker, speaking of a tremendous unstoppable force, our next speaker is the amazing Maria Julia Vale. And Maria Julia Vale is a community manager at She Is the Universe, founder of Girl Up Club that leads a national fundraising campaign for menstrual hygiene products and many other projects. She believes it only takes one light to shine to end the darkness. Buddha also said something like that too. She's 20 years old, from Rio, Brazil, and She Is the Universe is another of the incredible projects that is supported financially and mentored by Purpose Earth. It's a real joy, Maria, to have you with us.
Thank you so much. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit nervous to be here, such amazing speakers and such beautiful reflections. So I hope to contribute a little bit with my own reflections, with my own experience. So on January 8th, my hope died. I was at my friend's house, and normally I would be on my phone But on that day specifically, I don't know why, I just decided not to. And when I got home, I opened my Twitter and I could not believe what was in front of me. The capital of my country, Brazil, the symbol of our democracy, was being attacked by terrorists who were destroying every single item of our identity in the name of our nation. When I saw that news, two feelings arose at me. First, anger. Brazil had been attacked many times, our democracy had been attacked many times, and once again, it had been attacked by a rising extremism that we saw growing. Second, doubt. The same doubt that came to me on my history classes. Why was this happening? When I was a kid, I lived near the beach. I live in Rio, so it wasn't very normal. And almost every weekend, me and my parents would go there. And one thing that I really loved to do was to stand in the edge of the sand and look the vast sea in front of me. And when the water started to came, like the waves started to came, I would run back to my mom and hug her because I was scared of the water. And then I would go back to the other seat and run back. And that was my ritual. Like the beauty of the ocean and the fear of the unknown of the vast sea conflicted inside of me, making me run back to my mom to the slightest feeling of safety. And this word safety comes to my mind when I think about what happened on the Capitol that day. Those people were trying to protect money or this twisted sense of community that comes with extremism. But the main thing is that they were trying to protect the status quo. That horrible actions were their way of running back to the sand and keeping the water as far away as possible. After all, we were all raised to seek security in our relationships, career, educations, everywhere. But when my generation was starting to internalize security, something happened. Social media. It's no news that social media completely changed the world and the way we interact with it, but being raised on it is constantly dealing with the change and the uncertainty. And with fast connections come fast communication. So suddenly we are daily exposed to challenge our concept of identity. So we would meet people from different cultures, races, genders, sexual orientations, and eventually we got pulled into those talks about the hurts of being different in this world. And eventually we started to advocate and hold societies accountable for the horrible prejudice and the consequences of it. But we are not the first generation to do that. We had amazing activists and revolutionaries that came before us, that paved the way so we could walk. So why is my generation different? And honestly, are we different? When I think about my generation, I go back to my story in the beach. I feel that we are conflicted between the sand and the water. Every day we are bombarded by horrible news from all around the world, like the invasion, the terrorist attack on Brazil's capital that makes us want to go back to the sand and security and do as we are told. At the same time, we are involved in stories of amazing people that keep fighting for change no matter what, like even in the smallest actions, like the anonymous people who are identifying those terrorists and boycotting the companies who supported those terrible actions. So, is my generation different? I honestly don't know. But what I know is that on January 8th, my hope died. But on January 8th, my hope was reborn. Because for my generation, hope is like a phoenix. It can die millions of times, and it will be born millions of times. Our hope rekindles with the smallest actions, like a sincere conversation with our friends about mental health, silly moments, or even a nice gesture that comes through us through social media. This is our vision of a new earth, an earth with constant hope to fight for change. I am a product of this new earth. We don't need to be hopeful all the time. Dare I say, is impossible. But the reason we don't need to is because we have each other. When I start to feel hopeless, a simple conversation with my friends about it, it's enough to recharge me to fight for another day. So if there's one thing I would love all of you could take from my talk, is that listen to us, give us a chance. We will make mistakes, but we have a lot of hope to give. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming and sharing with us a beautiful presentation, a reality of the challenges faced on the front line there in Brazil of hope and transformation and the light that you bring. And just like Laura Rose was saying about the youth, the torch really is in your hands. And so much of it relies on you and your generation. So we're here to support, to encourage, to empower. And thank you so much for having the courage to step forward and to share so beautifully like you did today, Maria. Thank you for being with us. And we hope to see you again soon. Thank you, Maria. Beautiful, wonderful, how magnificent, you know, the reality and then the hope that comes with courage and heroism to really face the challenges at hand, which are vast, as we know. Our next speaker is another extraordinary woman. After being rescued by Songa medicine woman from a life-threatening encounter with a pride of lions in 1991, Linda Tucker gave up a career in international marketing to become a conservationist. Isn't that an incredible story? She was attacked by a pride of lions and then became a conservationist. There's something very powerful medicine in that. Since this time, she has dedicated her life to the urgent protection of the critically endangered white lions, venerated as the King of Kings by African elders. And we are very delighted to hear from Linda Tucker.
My name is Linda Tucker, and I speak to you from the heart of White Lion ancestral territories. This moment of Unity Earth convergence happens at a critical turning point in humanity's evolution. I'm speaking to you at the moment of the Leo Aquarius full moon, but there are greater calendars at work, all of which are converging at this time. We know the Mayan calendar, the Gregorian calendar, the Egyptian calendar, and there's a great African calendar that I work with. But over and above these calendars, which are coming together like clockwork into a convergent moment, is what is known as the Great Year, which is a time of turning at this time. And it is relevant that it is turning into the Leo Aquarius age. It is a 26,000 year cycle that begins now. So coming to you and this question of visualizing what the future will be when it is one of harmonious coexistence, I come with a very clear message from nature that the leadership that is emerging at this time is lion-hearted leadership. It is beyond mindfulness. It is even beyond heartfulness. What is called for now is that quality of lion-heartedness, inspired by love and respect for the natural world that enables us to transform our human world. It makes us unstoppable. What I'm saying is the lessons are coming from nature, and it is only from nature and our true natures that we can change our world. If we visualize harmonious coexistence, we can work back to this moment and make the decisions we need to make now with that vision. And what that means is that we radically have to transform the current structure, for it is, in fact, deconstructing at this very moment in so many ways the institutionalized consumerist model that we were all locked into is coming apart at the seams, and we're going to see massive changes, as we already have done over this incubation period of COVID. Now we're going to be moving forward with a new model, and we need very clearly to understand what it looks like. It comes from nature, from the laws of nature, the governance from nature, and of course that means from the apex animal who governs creation. When we understand the nature of predation, and that predation, as the white lion and lions in general, when they are working with the true laws of nature, is serving the greater good of the whole. It serves all the trophic levels, all the way down the pyramid of life, just as everything in nature serves. Everything in nature gives to the greater good of the whole. And that is the difference between predation and consumerism, the human model that has all but destroyed our planet. Go back 50 years to Stockholm, when the United Nations General Assembly met to address our climate crises. Yes, it goes back that far. And our environmental crises, the biodiversity loss that is directly related to the climate crisis. What did our humans come up with after that General Assembly, but this concept of sustainable use, sustainable development, sustainable utilization? Well, I say to you that that concept is dead and it's over. We have to look at a flourishing earth. To look at sustainable use has ended up meaning sustainable utilization, using and developing that term. The concept of development at the expense of the earth is no development at all. Emerging out of this new consciousness are concepts such as the circular economy and the gift economy, and those are much closer to the way that nature works, which is one great gifting system. What does need to come into these new models of humanity's governance is a concept of sacred relationship with Earth, serving Earth with love and respect. That is true lion-heartedness. And when that comes into the leadership model, we have the birthing of the new human. Many people argue that this Earth is overpopulated with humans, and it certainly appears so. But I say to you, if you look at nature from the perspective of a sacred site, which I am privileged enough to live within, you see that everything is flourishing. Everything is celebrating life. It's not the question of overpopulation. If each one of those humans was humbly serving Earth, the greater good of the whole, and beginning with love and respect for Earth, we would have a totally different planet. So it is a consciousness shift that is required of us at this time. The model that has been birthed out of the White Lion Heartland with indigenous experts, environmental lawyers, environmentalists, and traditional leaders is a model that recognizes that we need to go at this very moment beyond the concept of sustainable anything. We are so close to the extinction event that we need to look at regeneration. But again, what I'm saying to you is, do not believe that regeneration is in the hands of humans. The only way we can regenerate our planet is to come into sacred relationship with Earth and recognize that she is regenerating herself, with or without us. Our planet is testimony to that if you simply look at these points that are recovering, and our project is one of the leaders in this field. We have protected a sacred natural site, the ancestral site for the white lions, and in doing so, they have regenerated the ecosystem. That is how it works. The true leadership of the future, this lion-hearted leadership, which is a humble serving with an unstoppable heart that is in loving and respectful relationship with our environment, brings about the regeneration that we all seek. But it is recognizing that Earth is totally capable of restoring herself. She is in that process and at this very moment, and if it requires earthquakes, fires, floods, and famine, she will do it. Our relationship with her needs to shift into a sacred relationship, and that is the true lion-hearted leadership birthing at this time, from grassroots up, from all walks of life, certainly not from the old governing institutionalized structures that have to transform themselves into this new consciousness if they are going to survive. Strength, everyone. And that's a beautiful closing message from the zebra, who are wishing you unity across all divides, being both black and white in their stripes, in their dazzle of stripes. There we go. Wishing you unity, Unity Earth members. Lots and lots of love from the White Lion Heartlands.
Whew. Wow. My goodness, what a powerful message from Linda Tucker and from that extraordinary being at the end there. And thank you to the zebras as well. Linda is an amazing visionary for this new earth and a great example of actually executing and implementing the protection of the White Lion Trust in Timbavati, and what has been created there is a living example to sacred sites all around the world, incorporating Indigenous wisdom and leadership and preservation of the sacred site, along with those apex predators, the extraordinary white lions. Amazing work. And thank you for being with us, Linda Tucker. We look forward to many more collaborations and connections as we go forward with confidence and unstoppable lion-hearted leadership as a collective. Thank you, Linda, for that. Our next speaker is someone who is new to Unity Earth and the community, and we're so delighted to have him with us. Ciro Guerra is a film director and screenwriter. His first two feature films, La Sombra del Caminante, The Wandering Shadows in 2004, and Los Viajes del Viento, The Wind Journeys in 2009, were shown in many international film festivals. His latest film, Waiting for the Barbarians, starring Mark Rylance, Johnny Depp, and Robert Pattinson, is currently being released around the world. Ciro, it's a real joy to have you with us, and welcome to Unity Earth Symposium. We look forward to hearing your voice as we speak into these visions of what the Earth community could look like.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the invitation. It's been a great pleasure listening to all this wisdom coming from so many places, and all this, and just to be invited to be a part of this worldwide community is really humbling. I want to talk about what I do, which is storytelling. I want to talk about, where we hear from everyone that has spoken about the search for a unity. How can humans come together? What is the possibility? What are the ways forward? And how can we come together has been a question that has driven me and my work towards storytelling and towards cinema, because cinema brings us together and it's a way of putting ourselves into someone else's shoes for a couple of hours. And my search of unity in storytelling has led me to working with the indigenous peoples of Colombia. So I made some films with them. The most well-known one is called Embrace of the Serpent, which we did with the Amazonian peoples in the border of Colombia and Brazil. We also did birds of passage with the Wayuu people in northern Colombia. And basically what we took from our experience making these films with them, and that I want to share with you, is that a strong reminder that to them, the world is created as it is told. It's stories. The stories that we tell are the ones that create our world. That's something that indigenous peoples in Colombia truly believe. And I think it's important to be reminded that, because how do we get our relationship with this world that we live in? Through stories, through the stories we hear since the beginning of time. And all of societies recount their own stories and have these stories that pass from generation to generation. And you can trace the origins of our mothers, of what we are as a society, from the stories that we have heard, as the stories that we have been told. And I think we need to look back on that and wonder, what are the stories that we are hearing now? What are the stories that are shaping the world now? And how those stories tend to be coming from very limited places, how we tend to see, in the case of cinema, how we tend to have a very narrow relationship with the stories, that they come from very limited places in the world, and how it is important that we are able to use the tools of storytelling to hear and learn from the different stories of the world, and how that can help us in this dream of being one in the and knowing who we are, knowing how we think, how different we are, what is really our diversity. Because storytelling and stories are so powerful that they become really a target and a magnet for the capitalist forces that have shaped our world so far, and that have brought it to this moment of crisis. There's a lot of money to be made in storytelling, so that's something that really is a major interest to the big capital and to the sources of power. So, but stories are something that is priceless and that cannot be bought and sold. We can turn it into a market commodity, but it definitely goes beyond that. And I think the stories that I've decided that I want to make a strong focus on trying to use the tools of cinema, even use the tools of that people are listening to around the world, to bring us closer to knowledge that we have been drifting away from. And that, in my opinion, is particularly important with the knowledge of indigenous peoples. Indigenous peoples around the world are the ones that we hear less about in the movies we see, in the books we read, in the media we relate to. And I think but like everyone, I think everyone is aware of in this forum, those are the voices that we need right now. Those are the voices that have been neglected throughout the process of globalization and colonization. But those are the voices that can lead us into a way out of the current, because these are the voices that have had an harmonious convivence with nature for thousands of years, which is something that we can only dream of right now. These are the voices that have been able to live in an environment without overpopulating it, without polluting it, without drying up its resources, and living in harmony with it, and giving it as a present to the following generations, which is something that most people that we today really cannot envision with our current way of life. And I think within that paradigm shift, everyone has been very adamant about the need to change our way forward. And I think one starting point to build a new world is to change the stories that we tell each other, and the stories that we hear, because they really matter. They really make a difference. Think about how, if you're Catholic, how the stories of how the world was created, and and how we got where we are, how has that influenced the way you think and the way you are. I think it's the case in every religion, in every upbringing, For example, the great masters of thought in the past, like Jesus Christ, for example, spoke with stories. They didn't give people lectures. They gave them stories. They gave them, and through those stories, they were able to change the paradigms of people's minds. And that has been the case with many major people that have changed our world and that have opened up our eyes to different ways of seeing. And I think we're looking for a different way of seeing. And storytelling is something that is possibly the most human thing. It's the one thing that only humans do. We don't know. It would be lovely to be able to hear the stories from dolphins and whales. I'm sure they have wonderful stories to tell. But as far as we know, storytelling is a human trait. We are the only ones who do it. So I think it's an important tool for the construction of a new world, for the build of a new world. Storytelling is the way in which we fix our dreams to history and to the future, and they're part of the major legacy that we leave to those who come behind. So I want to, it's just an invitation about listening to to the stories we tell, the stories we hear, and how those affect us, and how can we create a new world through them. Thank you very much. It's a great pleasure to be here and to listen to all of you. It's my first approach, but I hope to be able to continue participating in this wonderful community that brings so many wonderful people from around the world.
Ciro, brother, thank you so much for being with us from Colombia on this symposium. You share such an important message around the power of story and also the transformative power of film to be able to really advance new stories and old stories in a way that is life affirming and uplifting and transformative. I do want to share with you just briefly, we're very blessed at Unity Earth to be connected to what might be one of the oldest living stories on Earth. And that is through the discoveries of Mungo Man and Mungo Lady back in the 60s and 70s, which transformed our understanding of how long Aboriginal people have been in Australia, and 45,000 years plus of continuous living culture. So through our friends of the Muddy Muddy people and the Nyampa and the Barkindji, that living story of the Mungo as a landscape and as a people may well be one of the oldest living stories on Earth at 45,000 years old. But we look forward to more engagement with you and hearing what you're up to and staying connected, brother, with you. So thank you so much for being with us and sharing today.
Yeah, I just wanted to add one last thing.
Sure.
When we started making Embrace of the Serpent, indigenous peoples were not valued in Colombia at all. No one knew about them. No stories were told about them. They were not part of the conversation. And that film had such an impact, and it changed so much, and it has such a strong vibration around, not only in Colombia, but around many places, that now we have a strong indigenous representation in government. For example, for the first time, a UN ambassador is from the Kogi people of the Sierra Nevada. And now they are part of our society, and we are understanding ourselves as a multicultural society. I'm not saying that is one of the first that is because of the movie, but certainly that particular story had played a part in that, and it opened up our possibilities to a more diverse Colombia and to a more diverse thinking of ourselves. So I think it seems like stories are not capable of moving powerful things, but I think so. I think that they are, and I think they can have a long-lasting effect. And I think we should be aware of the power of that tool. Thank you very much, everyone. So great to be here, and I'll be happy to continue to listen.
Thank you for sharing that story of transformation, Ciro, and the impact, because ultimately it's about impact and actual change. We might have to get you to Australia at some point to tell some stories over here, but thank you so much, Ciro, and looking forward to staying connected with you. Wonderful and powerful to reflect on the real transformative, real world impact of telling good stories well. Very good. Yesterday we had Father Jostrom Kuruthadam from the Vatican give us a breathing meditation, which I know many people would really enjoy deeply. And today, Father Josh is going to be sharing his visions for a new earth. He's a coordinator of the sector of ecology and creation at the Vatican Dicastery for promoting integral human development. He's also chair of philosophy of science and director of the Institute of Social and Political Sciences at the Salesian Pontifical University in Rome. He's a busy man. Father Jostrom Isaac Karuthadam, welcome. We look forward to hearing your visions for a new earth.
Hello, so happy to join you from the Vatican Dicastery for promoting integral human development and share with you my dream for a new earth. And I think of the great Martin Luther King, whom we celebrated a few weeks ago on 23rd of January. Martin Luther King is famous for his speech, "I have a dream." So in his footsteps, please allow me to share my dream for a new earth. This is a dream in 3 stages. First of all, a dream for Mother Earth, our common home. Astronomers speak of Earth in its infinite vast universe as a home, as a planet blessed with the gift of life. And we know currently life is being choked, life is being killed, is being annihilated on our planet. So I dream of a planet teeming with life, where life thrives, where life flourishes. I dream of oceans, rivers, lakes filled with clean water, because life began in waters, and life will be renewed when we renew the waters of Mother Earth. I renew a land not polluted, not toxic, but a land teeming with life again, a land which is lush, which is green, green mountains, green forests, where our rainforests are not cut down, but they thrive. I dream of air clean. And I think especially of our mega cities around the world, so polluted, choking, where people literally choke to breathe. That we can dream of clean air. That's my first dream for Mother Earth. The second dream is for humanity. In Hinduism, in the Maha Upanishad, there is this beautiful expression that humanity, that world is one family. We say in Sanskrit, Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam. And today, humanity is far from being a family. Think of so many of our brothers suffering due to hunger. Earth produces 130% more than what we need. Still, we have children going to bed hungry because we don't share. Then that's what we need. We need to dream of a humanity that lives as a family that shares. We are also raging so many wars around the world. Think of the war in Ukraine, but nearly 50 or so wars around the world. We are sisters and brothers. Why should we be fighting? Why are we spending trillions on arms when people go hungry, when people are sick? So I dream of a humanity that lives in peace, that embraces one another, especially the weakest amongst us. And my third dream is for our own faith communities. Unfortunately, today, we live in a world that is so polarized, that we fight over, that our ideological differences, our faiths can really separate us. We forget our one humanity. We forget that we are children of one God, who is Father, who is Mother. That for that we are brothers and sisters. So my dream is that faith communities become agents where dialogue takes place, where reconciliation takes place, where communion is created. That's my dream for our faith communities, and we are so many of us. And we can, as faith communities, begin this transformation. So happy to share my dream for a new earth, for a new humanity, and for new faith communities. God bless. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Father Josh, coming from the Vatican Dicastery for Integral Human Development. What a wonderful spirit and gentle, humble soul with such a great wisdom to share. We're very grateful that he shared his threefold dream for a new earth, for the earth itself, for humanity, and for the faith communities. Thank you so much. Okay, and let me just make a note here. In about 20 minutes, everybody who's here in the Zoom room, we're going to invite anyone who wants to share. You're going to have to try and, be brief and do it in around 30 seconds or do it within 30 seconds. But you're just going to put your digital hand up, and everyone who wants to will give a chance to share until the 30 minutes are up. We also have Cara Stonehouse, who is with us, staying up late into the night in France and Europe, who is doing a graphic recording of all of these visions for a new earth. So thank you, Cara, for being with us. And if you would like to add your vision for a new earth, you'll be given an opportunity in about 20 minutes from now. So just that note. Wonderful. Well, going from a faith leader to someone who is a leader in the intersection of science and the cosmos and spirituality. Amazing transition here to Dr. Jude Caravan. He's a cosmologist, futurist, planetary healer, award-winning and best-selling author, member of the Evolutionary Leaders Circle, previously a senior international businesswoman, and co-founder of Whole World View, which you can find at wholeworld-view.org. And we're delighted to have Dr. Jude Caravan with us to share her vision for a new earth.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jude Caravan, and I'm delighted to be able to be with you all for the Unity Earth Symposium. And especially because as I've been involved with and wholeheartedly appreciated over the last 5 years with the emergence of Unity Earth and its growing global community, heart-centered engagement and co-creative envisaging, it's embodying what a vision for a new earth can look like, feel like, be like, and do like. And in this pivotal time and moment of collective choice, to consciously evolve from an illusion of separation, to wake up, to remember that we are inseparable from each other, our planetary home, Gaia, and the whole world. Having such emergent soul models as Unity Earth rather than role models helps to inspire and empower us and are vital. From time immemorial, we've shared narratives to make sense of our lives and to comprehend the entire cosmos in underpinning and framing our perceptions of the nature of reality. Now, however, the presumptions of our prevailing paradigm of materialism and separation are being shown to be unable to encompass scientific breakthroughs. Instead, new evidence is requiring a radical new and expanded understanding and enabling an emergent and unitive narrative of the unified nature of reality to emerge. Wide-ranging scientific breakthroughs at all scales of existence are all now coming to an understanding that the appearance of our universe arises from deeper non-physical realms of causation, as digitized and vitally meaningful information and pixelated at the most minute scale of existence. And its informed reality manifests holographically with its multi-dimensional wholeness expressed in nested and relational complexity of its diverse parts. Fundamentally, these discoveries are revealing that mind and consciousness aren't something we have, but literally what we and the whole world really are. The emergent cosmology of this new and unitive narrative is of an essentially living and evolutionary universe, beginning 13.8 billion years ago, not in the implied chaos of a Big Bang, which was neither big nor the chaotic sense of a bang, but rather as an incredibly ordered and amazingly fine-tuned first moment of an ongoing big breath. And the space has expanded ever since, and time flowed forward. Our entire universe meaningfully and purposefully exists to evolve from simplicity to complexity and diversity, ever greater levels of individuated and collective self-awareness, interdependence, and interbeing. Over the last 4 billion years or so, this evolutionary impulse has been embodied in our planetary home Gaia, pulsed not by passive continuity, but proactively by change and challenge. Gaia's emergence has not only survived but flourished. The collaborative cycles of her entirely interdependent, what I call Gaia-sphere, continuing to provide a breathable atmosphere, liquid water, resource-rich land, and habitable climate to sustain and nurture the evolutionary complexity of her biological children. Progressively, she's guided emergent informational networks of cooperation, of cooperative complexity, coherence, and sentience, whose innate capacities, whether they be a mycelium wood wide web of an entire forest or the intricate nervous systems of animals, they all enable such coherence to prevail. Alongside and beyond intellect, though, Gaia has progressively nurtured empathy and emotional attachments in the cooperative and loving relationships of mates, parents and offspring, families and communities. Our planetary home has embedded circles, wider circles of caring. Following the evidence to here and now extends to us an existential choice and opportunity to wake up and remember we're inseparable from each other, Gaia and the whole world. It invites us also to appreciate and realize that we are an integral part of Gaia's own evolutionary progress and purpose. And it offers us the authentic opportunity, empowerment, and hope as Gaians to remember who we really are and who we can consciously evolve to become. With a worldview of separation, behaviors of conflict, inequality, and exploitation have been natural, although tragic, outcomes. In a healed world, however, underpinned and framed by the evidential basis of unified reality and a unitive narrative, and experienced and embodied in our remembered wholeness. Unity expressed in diversity and inclusion, and fundamentally our universal belonging naturally inspires, empowers, and guides behaviors of peace, justice, equality of opportunity, and sustainability. Its unitive narrative then also encourages us to co-creatively develop and embody unitive-based economics, education, and ecological harmony based on Gaian and universal principles of whole being, ensuring regeneration and evolutionary emergence. This is a whole world built on love and embodied interbeing of ourselves, our beloved planetary home, Gaia, and in right relationship with the entire universe.
Beautiful. Beautiful message, Dr. Jude Caravan, on the ethos, the values, and the ideals of being Gaian as we adopt, into our education systems, our economic systems, our governance systems, and everything else. So we are so richly blessed by a vast array of spiritual visionary leaders. We really are. We have everything we need to engage this journey of transformation into the new earth. Thank you, Jude. That was magnificent. It's time for a little bit of music. And just before we get to the community sharing, now, after the music, digital hand up. Once with 30 minutes is up, we'll have to stop it, but we're going to give you a chance to share your vision within 30 seconds. I know it's short, but in a sentence or two to really encapsulate what your hope to add to this collect, not yet, after the music, to add to your to this emerging beautiful field that's been created today, and that Cara Stonehouse is graphically recording for all of us. But first, some musical inspiration from the one and only Gary Melkin. Gary is a multi-Emmy award-winning composer and producer, public speaker, consultant, and music and wellness professional dedicated to harnessing the healing power of music to awaken healthy, empowering, and generative states of being. He is a respected member of the Association for Transformational Leaders and the Evolutionary Leaders Circle. Gary, brother, thank you for being with us, and welcome to this wonderful gathering, this symposium, Visions for a New Earth. We are blessed to have you.
What a lineup. What an honor, what a privilege to follow this array of the most extraordinary leaders and luminaries of our world. Thank you for the invitation, Ben and Irina and Yanni. I so appreciate this. Okay, I have 10 minutes. I want to accomplish a lot. So here's the image. Do you know what? Imagine the earth, solid and dry and cakey and unfertile. And imagine what happens when water goes on that earth and it doesn't settle. It doesn't drop in, right? We have become, our hearts have become like that earth where the water of music doesn't go in easily. And we need to allow that to sift into our mitochondria and to our cells. So as I do what I'm about to do, which is a little excerpt of a film that is part of a new series I just launched, a second season of Gaia. But in general, I want to encourage you to think about the music that I'm going to be sharing is like the water of life, right? So, John Ortiz, the great author, said, music is life the sound of life celebrating itself. Well, it's actually, music is also the experience of life aligning and unifying itself in the heart, because it's the universal language of emotion. So as I was listening to Linda Tucker talk about the lion-hearted, I think it's really appropriate we share an excerpt of a wisdom film that I created on this new series on Gaia called Gaia TV, called Islands of Inner Peace. And there'll be a link in the chat for you to learn how to access your free month on Gaia if you want. But this is just 3 minutes, the last 3 minutes of the Gaia film that I did for setting wisdom to music that allows us to have that tenderizing, heart-opening experience. So we hear wisdom not just with our cognitive mind, but with our heart and soul. So Becky, would you play that excerpt before I sing this song? Lynn Twist on courage.
Now I know that no matter what happens to me, and no matter what happens to you, if you're willing to call on your heart to bring you the courage that you need to get through it, it will always be there. And it's infinite, it's eternal, and its strength is unbounded. Nothing is greater than the courage to live life, the courage to save life, the courage to contribute to life, and the courage to make a difference. My wish for you is that you find the courage that you need, no matter how difficult, no matter how crushing. Know that you can never be crushed. You can never be brutalized. Cruelty can never really touch the heart of who you are. You have the courage to meet that adversity and pull yourself through. Who you are is a being that's filled with light, that's filled with kindness, that's filled with strength, that's filled with love, and that is made of courage. Each of us has it. Call on it, and it'll be there. Because it's the heart of who you are.
Your courage is the heart of who you are. So as we allow this music to sift into our hardened hearts, let ourselves reclaim our innocence. This opening is an excerpt from a song that Christina Frith and I wrote for the 1-year commemorative at the National Cathedral in Washington, D.C. And then I'm going to go into a song that came to me during COVID, during the lockdown. The earth is one country, and mankind its citizens. Let us raise a flag of our one human nation. Bury the hate, just right into that earth. Bury the hate and water the love. Let's compost that hatred. It's time to bring in the world. Bring in the world to a place of harmony. Bring in the world to a place of unity. As we wrap our loving arms around this changing earth, we can bring in the world. It's a pity that we have forgotten. My heart is breaking. There's so much at stake. But it's time now, time to remember we're all together sharing the ache. An old man is dying, has no insurance. The kids have gone now to live their own lives. His nights are lonely, but he's still a father. Will you reach out so he can still thrive? We are all here. We are all here. We are all here to love. We were born here. We will fall here. We are all here to love. Daughter Susan, well past her 60s, her aging parents are in slow decline. She has her longings and dreams of a future, but Susan shows up while her brothers are blind. We are all here, please join me. We are all here, and imagine you can hear everyone singing. We are all here to love. We are born here. We will fall here. We are all here to love. We are all here. We are all here. We are all here to love. We were born here. We will fall here. We are all here to love. We are all here to love. If an ounce of our innocence and our remembrance of what's true around the only thing there is love, then we've done our job. With great gratitude and love to you all.
Oh, brother Gary, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your beautiful heart and your magical performance to share these extraordinary gifts of music that you have created and bestow upon us all. Thank you for your presence.
Ben, I just want to say one tiny thing. That little excerpt of the wisdom film of Lynn Twist, when working on it, made me see how courage was the next step. And so when I heard Linda Tucker say the lion-hearted piece, I've always been saying it's not mindfulness, it's heartfulness, right? She bypassed it. She said, it's not even heartfulness, it's lion-heartedness. And this is such an example of how Unity Earth provides answers and community and gathering. And it brings everything together into not only what we do, how to do it, but how we together can work together to create the world we wish. Thank you for the opportunity to share. I love you and I'm with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you so much. Thank you for your generosity too. Again, this abundance, generosity, and gratitude is overflowing, and we're very grateful to you, Gary, for your genius and for your gifts that you share with us. A lot of love here as you were sharing that beautiful musical message and inspiration. Thank you, brother. On we go, on we roll. So, friends, put your digital hand up. It's time to share your vision for a new Earth. Remember, keeping it short is an act of kindness. So we're going to go through, we're going to hear from anyone who wants to, and we're going to start with Janice Coyle. So let's bring Janice up here, or let's spotlight Janice. And Janice, tell us, share with us, please. You've been working on this for a while. Tell us, Janice, your vision for a new Earth.
Yes, I have. As a founder of the New Earth Visioning Project, we've heard a lot of visions, and we've held the space for the visions we've heard from each other and from the people who have joined us. And in listening to all these visions, including the ones today, there is an essence to all of them that I see. And that is, and this motivating power, this thing that is motivating us all, empowering us all, is love. And so the essence we have come to in our group of what these visions are motivated for, empowered by, is love. And so our vision is a vision of a world where love is Lord. And in addition to that, we have made the intention that love will be Lord within ourselves, and that we will love ourselves. And so love is Lord all over, everywhere.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Oh, beautiful. Love is Lord. I've never heard that connection of those two words. Thank you for sharing that. That's a powerful summary of so much that you've experienced as you explore the new Earth. Ananda Reeves, let's bring you up here. Ananda, share with us, please, your vision for a new Earth.
Okay, here we go. I've been working on this for a while too. You know, every single conference I go to, it's a universal language. I hear it all the time, but there's one thing missing. And what's missing is your next door neighbor or your block or your city. And so when I get done with this call, I'm always elated. I'm just always, on fire. But I'm here by myself when I close this window out. So I want to invite everybody here to go on a personal campaign, turn off your computers, step outside, make a campaign, and let the rest of the world know that we're here. Because we keep talking about how are we going to unite? Well, it's in your neighborhood. I don't have anybody in my whole city that knows what I'm talking about. So I just invite you, turn off your computers when you leave, step out your door, make a campaign. Have a booth at the farmer's market, put up some flyers, go on a radio show, whatever you need to do.
Thank you, Ananda. I am with you 100%. Campaign for a new Earth. Now, there's an idea. So, Ananda, we'll be following up with you to hear more about your ideas. You're absolutely right. We need to engage our neighbors, our communities, our block, etc. There's so much more to say about this. Let's park that and we'll come back. That conversation will be ongoing. A campaign for a new Earth. Patricia Wagner, welcome to you. We'd love to hear your vision.
Thank you, Ben. My vision actually came to me in 1999, and I named it the Two Doors Vision. I already posted it in the chat, and it's about gratitude, how we can create heaven on earth through the door of gratitude. And that's nothing new for us now, but back in 1999, people weren't talking about gratitude or creating heaven on earth. But that vision has evolved into living as a prayer of thanksgiving, which is like the chop wood, carry water, simple practices, spiritual practices of living in heart-centered gratitude, which is anchoring to the feeling of gratitude in the heart all day, every day, while attuning our mind to God mind. And that takes place in many ways: meditation, prayer, affirmations, and a simple practice, a mindfulness practice called looking for light. So I encourage people to watch this video. I'm going to put it in the chat. It's a 20-minute video, but it explains living as a prayer of thanksgiving. And I really encourage Unity Earth and other organizations to adopt this practice of living as a prayer of thanksgiving. I think it can essentially change the world. That's my
Beautiful.
vision.
Thank you, Patricia. Living as a prayer for Thanksgiving, the two doors approach. Every single one of these could be a whole program in itself, which is just the abundance of riches that's here. Thank you, Patricia, so much for that. And as you say, going back to the 80s that you've been holding this vision like so many here have, it's extraordinary. Thank you for sharing it. Next, it's Bridget Wolf. So let's bring Bridget up here to share your vision of a new Earth.
Thank you so much. I hope you can hear me. I am encouraging us to howl with the wolves and to sing with the rivers. All of our voices are welcome. And to model that, plant a seed for a new day dawning. Brighter day, let's plant the seeds for a new day dawning. Bright as the shining sun shines on everyone. With love to all, we are all related. Thank you.
Oh, that was beautiful, Bridget Wolf. Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you for bringing your song and sharing that with us today and blessing us all. Thank you. Deep gratitude to you. Next we have, is it Karen? Karen Trujillo-Heffernan is with us. Karen, sister, welcome, welcome.
Hi. I received my vision for a new earth when I was 13 years old, and it is to ensure that every child on the planet is nourished physically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and financially. And when this happens, all beings will live in love, peace, laughter, joy, and harmony.
Okay, just before you go, just say that one more time. All children are nourished?
All children on the planet are nourished physically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and financially.
And when that happens?
And when that happens, all beings will live in love, unity, peace, laughter, joy, and harmony.
Unity, peace, laughter, joy, and harmony. I'm just trying to give Kara a chance to catch some of this great stuff. So yeah, thank you very much, Karen. That's magnificent. Thank you very much. Next, Carl Welty. I hope I'm saying that right, Brother Carl. Welcome. And we look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you, Carl Welty. That's exactly right. Very inspiring. Perhaps to try to be inspired by this language. Maybe I discovered my vision in 1982 as an architect trained to draw perspectives and trained to believe that our perspective, which is very much Western perspective, is true and a correct way to see nature. I came across this kind of an interesting fact that perspective was invented in 1413. So in our Western world, we live in this world that we think is, and we draw this world and we design this world from this particular vantage point. And when I've learned from many research and working in architecture that there's many ways, there's other modes of representation, Chinese landscape painting and other indigenous modes of representation or languages to design and imagine the world. And in conclusion, from my experience in projects I've done and projects I've looked at, that the more we imagine and design outside of frozen linear perspective, Renaissance perspective, we create projects that are more efficient, more resilient, and affordable. I mean, providing a regenerative future affordably. And in the biggest sort of reward is an architecture or communities that connect us to nature, which I think is at the heart of so much of what we're talking about.
Well said, Carl. Well said. Thank you. Again, going back many decades, you've been holding this fire and doing the work, and an architecture of communities that are connected to nature is very much, I think, a great point of agreement for so many that are in the process of envisioning what the world can look like that's whole, healed, transformed, and works for all. Thank you, Carl, for being with us. Next, Brother Dan, also from here in Australia. Great to have you with us, Brother Dan. I know you've got some big visions for the new Earth. So tell us, what does it look like to you?
Jingawala, and greetings to everybody here on Winchable country near Byron Bay. Vision for the year and for the new Earth is we're setting up the university, the Sacred Earth University, and that's about utilizing the ancient cultural wisdom with natural wisdom and fusing that with best available technologies and practices. So we're looking to collaborate around the world with creating syntropic songlines and wisdom that we can all collaborate in that oneness dreaming. So the theme this year is "It is time."
Thank you, brother. The Sacred Earth University, is that what it's called, Dan?
Yeah, Sacred Earth University. So we've been putting our wisdom council together with the custodians here in Australia and globally, and to have that as a true unified wisdom council with all of that wisdom to guide our decision making and programs, and to approve a curriculum on third order change. So we're seeing that second order change is not going to cut it. So we have to go towards the quantum and that wisdom. It's time to really bring that to the mainstream. So we're offering a university to really train the trainer, and the global collaborations and partnerships is what it's all about. So I really say thank you to yourself and for everyone, the work they're doing. We'd like to really just try and be a way to bring that together. So that's our offering, and really looking forward to collaborate with you and many of the partners here today.
Thank you so much, Dan. Thank you for being here. You know, I think a huge part of our success will be based upon just showing up, there for each other. So we appreciate you showing up here today and sharing that. And we look forward to the ongoing partnership and collaboration, and blessings on all that you've got birthing this year. Thank you, Dan. Next, Anasuya Isaacs. Oh, we've gone, we might be in a different order. No, Mayor Cromwell is next, and then Anasuya. So Mayor Cromwell, Thousand Goddesses Rising. Mayor, what's your vision for a new Earth?
Thank you, Ben. There are two pieces to this vision. One is that we all come to learn what the Aleut Anungan elder, Larry McKirliop, talks about, of recognizing each other every time we see each other. Hello, my other self. That is one part of my vision. And the other part of my vision is that we all remember that we live within Gaia's web of love, and there are countless sacred seen and unseen ones who surround us all the time that are waiting for us to come home to Gaia's web of love and to them. So those are my pieces.
To come home to Gaia's web of love. Beautiful, magnificent. Thank you so much, man. Thanks for everything you are doing to help bring forward this new Earth. One of the things I think that's very strong, along with the engagement with nature and the prominence of Indigenous wisdom and leadership, is also the rise and the prominence of the feminine. And I know you and many others are doing a lot of work around that. So thank you for helping to create the conditions that is bringing in the new Earth. And speaking of that, yes, Anasuya Isaac, sister, wonderful to have you with us. And you want to hear your vision for a new Earth.
Good morning, evening, afternoon, and tomorrow. Hello. My vision is simple and accessible. Remember your mother. Remember your mother. Be it the one from whom you literally came, be it your mother's mother's mother's, be it your mother that goes all the way back through your mitochondrial DNA, all the way back, mother to daughter, or rather daughter to mother, all the way back to the first mother, mitochondrial Eve. Remember your mother, the earth and the oceans and the cosmos. Remember your mother, the divine feminine, partner, co-consort, co-creatrix, blissful partner in creating orgasmic creations such as we. Remember your mother when you talk to women? Are you listening? Are you ready to speak over them? Is your idea better? Listen to women. Women have wisdom that has been ignored and neglected and denied. Listen to women. Listen to women who speak from their womb. Listen to women who are led by the intuition given by their womb. Listen to women's wisdom for conflict resolution, for vision. What's coming from the future that's knocking at our door, begging us to follow. Listen to women's wisdom on healing, on loving, on restoring, because we hold the keys. We hold the message. Remember your mother, the divine one. No matter what name you call her, the divine mother is always at our beck and call, ready to serve us. Call upon the mother and then listen.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anasuya. Thank you, Anasuya, for that beautiful, powerful, resonant message. Remember your mother, the divine in all manifestations. Linda, dear heart, welcome and welcome. And please share with us your vision for a new earth, Linda.
Yes. Well, we've all been sharing our visions for the new earth, and it's coming through us, and we're all creating it. These are words and sharings that come and then go into the air. These are the flags of one family. These are a symbol that are playful, uplifting, that actually, when they're being used in gatherings around the world, help give picture to everything that we're talking about. And so we're going to be having some of them on the 28th of March at the LA Convergence. And so we're working on a way to impart them in a meaningful way as they uplift and show picture, give vision of what we're all doing here. And then this is harmonic convergence. This is where we're a quiet meditation to the top of a mountain at sunrise. So these, even though I'm holding little ones, they come in all sizes, all colors, all flexibilities. Anyway, the symbol keeps going. And so I invite people to share them and experience them as we travel this path.
Yeah, thank you, Linda. Thank you so much. And thank you for the gift of bringing the flags of one family, Wings of the Heart, to the Wisdom on March 28th in Los Angeles. That is going to be beautiful. Thank you so much, Linda DeHart. Christy Michaels, another great visionary. Thank you, Christy. And please share with us, what's your vision for a new earth?
Thank you so much, Ben. What you all are doing, of course, is my vision. And I so appreciate the platform for the Divine Feminine that you have supported and given voice to, because I don't think some people realize there is no new earth without the Divine Feminine. It's like you can't have the patriarchy up here and then the Divine Feminine is a blip on the radar screen. You have to raise her up. You have to stop suppressing her and suppressing her knowledge and her information, and then you join together as one. We don't become one without raising her up, because we live in a world of duality. So this is why this message of unity.earth is so pertinent at this time, that it includes us all. Thank you so much, Ben. I honor you and the work that you do so much. Blessed.
Thank you, Christy. And Christy, you're a great example of bringing in your neighbors and bringing in the people around you and bringing others to this great fire that we're around together. Thank you so much, Christy, for those wonderful words and for everything you do to help weave this new world into being. And now we welcome Becky. Becky had put something in the chat. We said, hey, Becky, come forward and share it with us. So what would you like to share, Becky?
I would like to share
my wish that we all awaken to knowing and understanding that within each of us lies the entire universe. And when we meet all that is within ourselves, we automatically feel the needs of our neighbors, of people near and far. We feel the needs of the plants, of the animals, and of our mother, the earth herself. And it becomes not work to meet those needs, but rather something that's automatic and naturally flowing from within each of us, because we're really not separate. So that's my wish. May it be so.
May it be so. May it be so. Thank you so much. Thank you, Becky, for sharing that beautiful, simple, profound, transformational wisdom and message. Now we're going to hear from Jutta. Jutta, thank you for being with us. Welcome. What would you like to share?
Hello. Hi. I agree with the vision that is shared commonly inside this room. So I just want to add a small micro piece that I just received today. It's about, oh, my video is a little bit broken, sorry. It's about the cold in the winter, and we are now in Germany. We have cold temperatures, and maybe I stop the video. So you can hear me?
Yes, very
okay?
well, Jutta. Very well. Very good.
Okay. Yes, and I had the vision that we are not having to burn anything to heat our rooms, but to learn and to improve our bodies, to be not so sensible on temperatures, and to sustain on high and low temperatures, and by breathing technologies, there is a way to also change your skins and how you feel temperatures. So you know about this diving, deep divers or any gurus that are in the ice, you know. And if we could improve these techniques and evolve a new body, so we don't have so much to need not so much resources to heat and to cool down in hot areas. So
beautiful. Thank you, Jutta. Thank you. Yeah, and a lot of people are saying a new Earth means a new humanity, and there have been many visionaries who talked about the new emerging humanity and the physiological changes that may be a part of that. So thank you for sharing that, Jutta, and thank you for being with us. We're going to ask Gordon Fuller, who couldn't raise his hand, but is Gordon here? Is his video on? Gordon, are you with us?
Aloha, ola, yatahe. Thank you so much. This has been such a wonderful and inspiring gathering. I am very greatly honored to be in the presence of so many wonderful, beautiful spirits. I wanted to share my perception of what I think we as humans are now transcending towards, and that is the age of awareness. We have come through a time when ignorance and opinion and ideas have not been particularly grounded in fact or in practice, and people have been exposed to much falsehood. But the good thing about our time, which is quite unique, is that the arts, humanities, the sciences, today we have more creative, intelligent, wonderful people alive than ever before in human history. And in truth, our science, the study of nature, nature is revealing herself to us in ways that will enlighten us and give us that gift of awareness where you're conscious of the world around you. As I see it, as a person who is blind, I learned to understand that the world that is beyond my perception is one in which my human form evolved to be the perfect being that we are, perfectly adaptable, as extremophiles to this beautiful and divine, gorgeous earth. And yet at the same time, now we live in a world that is utterly synthetic, of our own making, influenced by the ideas, cultures, languages, things that are given to us that we blindly accept without consideration or conscious awareness. And yet that can change. That will change very rapidly. Now, like never before, humanity is knitting a new social fabric, and we're all part of that. And this wonderful upliftment of consciousness and spirituality is the gift of our time, and we're all wonderfully blessed to be a part of it. And so thank you so much for this gathering, and thank you for the best and most wonderful, inspiring words and song and people. Aloha kako. Aloha to us all.
Brother, thank you, Gordon. Thank you so much. Deep, profound words of wisdom. Thank you for sharing this. So much truth in everything you just shared. Wow. And as Gordon said, we have, you know, the genius and the people and the extraordinary beings on the planet right now to do this. Someone who is absolutely right in the heart of all of that is Becky Suzik. And Becky has been behind the scenes these last few days, making it all happen, creating the magic of this symposium. Thank you so much, Becky, for everything you do. And I didn't want to let the moment go past without asking you, what's your vision, Reverend Rebecca, for a whole, healed, transformed planetary society?
Thank you so much, Ben. My vision for the new earth is that we all remember that we each matter, and that we each have gifts to give, to bless ourselves, bless each other, bless the earth, that we all will remember that we are part of this earth, and that we are family with Mother Gaia. My vision that I feel for the new earth is that we invent new words, new words that don't oppress people, that don't cause harm. We have new words that honor the culture of peace that so many of us believe in and are building right now. My vision for the new earth is that peace will prevail within each of our hearts, in our homes, in our communities, and that together we do this together through great love. May peace prevail on it. Blessed be. Amen. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. We love you, Becky. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So much love and gratitude to you, and prayers for all that is unfolding. Last one. We have time for one more, and then we've got incredible more visionaries to hear from, and music and experience as we wrap up day 2. So Andre Sheldon, you will be closing this community sharing of visions for a new earth. What would you like to say?
Hello.
Andre, you're on.
Okay.
You're up.
Yes. Thank you. Namaste, everyone. What's happening in the world is all embodied in everything that you're doing. It's fantastic. And from my standpoint of view, I'm a peace activist working to stop war, because I think war derails all the good work that's being done. And I found the common denominators for everyone to unite around the world is nonviolence and the children. The children being the motivation for everyone to come together. It's already used in political rhetoric or in mission statements that we're doing it for the children, but also as a metaphor for the future. And so I'm hoping that the world can come together in a movement of nonviolence like Gandhi and King did. That's love. That's all about then peace. So my wish is that everyone, if things get bad, that we focus then on nonviolence. Thank you very much.
Beautiful. Well, yes, with Gandhi and King and that that incredible teachings of nonviolence, there's a lot there, Andre, and I know your work really holds that very close to its heart. So thank you for continuing to keep that fire burning. Of course, it was the Beatitudes and the Sermon on the Mount that inspired both of those individuals. Extraordinary. Thank you, Andre, for sharing that. Wow. My goodness. What an incredible collection of visionaries. So beautiful. And Sherry says in the chat, this is the new news. My humble vision in this moment is that this community and events like these make it to the mainstream media. This is the most important story happening on Earth. Thank you, Sherry. Irina Morrison says, well said, Sherry. That is my vision too. Thank you, everybody, all the visionaries who have shared. We are collected, we are united, we are together, and we are in the greater quality of co-creating this together. Our next speaker, let me just go back and say it's profoundly clear that Indigenous wisdom, the rising of the divine feminine, protection, nourishment, nurturing of children, there are elements which I think are foundational to this whole story. And the more we feel it and sing it and hear it from each other, the more clear those aspects become. Our next speaker, we're going to do the poem a little later, Victoria, before we show the incredible what Cara Stonehouse. Cara has been feverishly trying to capture all of this. But our next speaker is somebody who really is an icon, and I don't use that word lightly, an icon of this new emerging consciousness, where the ancient meets the new in the new earth. Dr. Kurt Johnson has worked in professional science and comparative religion over 40 years, a prominent figure on international committees, particularly at the United Nations. He is the author of the influential book, The Coming into Spiritual Age, which touched me deeply. It was published in 2013. And 2 award-winning books in science, Nabokov's Blues and Fine Lines. Dr. Kurt Johnson, it is wonderful to have you with us. Welcome. We get you unmuted. Let me try. What I'm going to do, Kurt, is I'm going to make you a co-host. I don't know why we're not unable to. There you go. Try now.
There we go. That's good. Okay, great. Right. So wonderful. And actually, Ben had sent me a little note in the chat, and he said, can you begin with inner spirituality and end with inner spirituality? And as I was sitting here listening to all of these amazing presenters, I was thinking, that's easy to do because this entire conversation has started with inner spirituality and is ending with inner spirituality. And if we wanted a definition of that, one that Ken Wilber said was, it's that deeper conversation from the heart. Lila June said it, Linda Tucker said it, Gordon just said it. That deeper conversation from the heart that the world so desperately needs, but to a great extent has never been able to have. And what the results of that deeper conversation from the heart would be. And that's exactly what all of you tonight have been presenting, what that deeper conversation could bring to the world as you would see it. So actually what I'm going to do in just a few minutes that I have here is I want to share what a lot of you are doing in the voices that are in this room, which I get to know about because we're either a part of publishing your works or we're a part of helping make your events happen. And as you listen to this litany of all of these visions for a future, I really ask you, listen a little deeper and ask yourself, why did they choose this title? Why did they choose these words? And then I think you'll see this deeper tapestry that we're all talking about. So the first one, of course, was Laura Rose and Emmanuel Kunzelman talking about what the evolutionary leaders and their synergy circles are doing with the Holo Movement, both the Holo Movement event and the Holo Movement book. And the title of the Holo Movement book, which is edited by Emmanuel Kunzelman and Jill Robinson, is Embracing Our Collective Purpose to Unite Humanity. And it moves from the implicate order of David Bohm, the perfection of the formless, to the explicate order of the world we vision, to what we would love to see from the world of the heart in the world of form. So that's one of the things that's happening now. Next one is Irvin Laszlo's movement in Europe and his book, which is called The Upshift Movement. And his book is entitled The Survival Imperative, Upshifting to a Conscious Evolution. And that's exactly what all of you have been talking about. And a lot of my day today was spent with people in Europe talking about how that conversation will join the conversation in Sedona and the conversation that Ben talked about, which will be immediately after in LA at the LA Convergence. So the one right after that we're doing is for Steve Farrell and Humanity's team, and their initiative to change the future of humanity. Same thing we've all been saying. And Steve's book, here's the title, A New Universal Dream. How many of you have said that tonight? A New Universal Dream, from Silicon Valley to a life in service to humanity. So then there's Bob Atkinson's book that we just did, A New Story of Wholeness, a guide to bringing together the human family. And the reason I mention it, you go to Sacred Stories on YouTube, wonderful conversation between Bob and Deepak Chopra about the deeper meaning of that. Deepak himself being the author of an article called Wholeness is Not a Choice. So the next one I just mentioned quickly is Paul Mills's book, Science, Being, and Becoming, The Spiritual Lives of Scientists, just like Gordon just said, how these worlds are coming together now between the objective and the subject. And again, a beautiful conversation between Deepak Chopra and Paul Mills, also at Sacred Stories at YouTube, that really highlights the depth of that conversation. So far it's always been men, but now we're going to move to what we've seen as emergent. This is this arising of the recognition and the wisdom of the divine feminine. So Dr. Elena Mustakova's book, Global Unitive Healing, with the commentaries by Claudia Wells, who's the chair now at the Institute of Noetic Sciences. And then the book that we just posted 2 days ago on the future of energy healing through the divine feminine. You'll see it at Amazon. It's called May the Love Force Be With You. And it's by Rajashri Ma. So watch for that at Amazon just 2 days ago. And again, it's an entirely new lineage in Reiki healing that's based on channeling from the divine feminine. After that is going to come Karuna's book on yoga and awakening. And the reason I mention it is that when people ask me, what's it all about? I think of meditation in her book, where she says, if someone asks you, what's it all about? Tell them this: life and love in devotion to itself, capital I. Life and love in devotion to itself. I've spent a lot of time on that one, so there's going to be some wonderful things coming from what Karuna has to say. Our friends at Conscious World Citizens, and I say it again, the word conscious world citizens, who've just been able to get their curriculum on the values that underpin, again, as Linda said, not just the sustainable development goals, but the regenerative development goals, the inner values that underlie that recognition in our species in Canadian and UK universities. Last thing I'm going to say then is that as we enter into 2022, 2023, 24, to finish with inner spirituality, we'll be coming up on the 25th anniversary of the coining of that word. The word inner spirituality that was coined by someone who was a mentor to many of us, Brother Wayne Teasdale, and the author of the iconic book, The Mystic Heart, Discovering the Universal Spirituality in the World's Religions. And it's interesting now, Wayne has passed, Father Thomas Keating has passed, Thomas Merton has passed, Raymond Panikar, all of the early pioneers. We're the second generation and we're gray now, but that first generation now that brought that understanding that Ken Wilber said, the conversation from the heart that the world so desperately needs, but to a great extent has not been able to have. Last thing I'm going to say is all of this is wrapped up in the wonderful conversation with Ben and Rian Eisler. Rian Eisler joining us at 90 years old when Ruby joined us at 12 years old. Rian Eisler joining us at 90, the grandmother of the understanding of domination versus partnership, and her 4 cornerstones of how we move from a domination consciousness to a partnership consciousness. So that's a wonderful conversation with Ben. There are others also at Sacred Stories with Rian, and coming up with Deborah Moldow, Diane Williams, and Emmanuel Kunzelman and others. So it's happening now, in case anybody wonders what interspirituality is. You've been in it for 4 hours, 3 hours, whatever this has been. It's this conversation. So bless you all, and thank you for every aspect that you're doing, from music to projects to activism to vision to books to service to your own life of devotion, in making that reality the way that our planet will be. So love to all of you. Thanks for the opportunity to share.
Thank you so much, Kurt. Thank you so much for everything you're doing. How exciting to be, seeing what's unfolding in this time, having lived the life you lived, having been friends with so many of the founders of this movement, the interspiritual movement. What a joy, what a gift, what a blessing. Bless you. More health, more strength for your arm. And we will see you very, very soon. Thank you and love. And thanks for being with us. And thanks for everything. Okay, so next we're going to hear from Deborah Moldo. Reverend Deborah Moldo is an ordained interfaith minister committed to assisting in the transformation of human consciousness. She is the founder of the Garden of Light, providing an online platform for the emerging global spirituality so that this community can become visible as a powerful force in uplifting the human spirit. Deborah closed us yesterday on day one with a gorgeous prayer and blessing. It's wonderful to have you with us here on day two, Deborah.
What a joy it is to enter into this dream stream with all of you, and to take in the beauty of all of the visions present this evening. I was very challenged by this task of coming up with a vision for the new earth. And I realized that it's because we're being asked to imagine the unimaginable. So come with me for just a moment and visualize how your ancestors lived. They slept on the ground, or in caves, or in huts. They ate what was present in their environment. They only knew their kin and perhaps the tribe across the river. And think about how you grew up in a house wearing manufactured clothing and watching television and flying in airplanes and talking on the telephone. And all of this would be completely unimaginable to your ancestors. And now here we are, live on the internet, speaking across the planet in real time to one another and seeing each other and knowing one another. This is such a radically new time that we're in. So the challenge for us now is to vision a future for all of humanity and all life on earth that is as radically different from this moment now as this moment is from the way our early ancestors lived. So just let's take a moment and feel into all of the visions that we've heard and all of the visions in our imagination, stretching our minds to even conceive of the new humanity on a new earth. See the colors in your mind and feel the love in your heart. That is the future humans fulfilling our dreams and living into a new future of love, 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 of a new kind of creativity, a new kind of empowerment for every child that is born on this planet, living in harmony with our beautiful Mother Nature and all of life, and perhaps even life beyond our planet. So dream on, dreamers, into the future. Dream into the unimaginable so that we can co-create it together As Kurt was talking about the shoulders that we stand on, let us be the shoulders that the future beings stand on. And let us be a blessing to them as we make this new world emerge, as we birth it together, women, men, children, one human family, in unity, in peace, and in love. May peace prevail on earth. Thank you. Ben, you are muted.
Well, you know what I said. I said, may peace prevail on earth. And thank you so much, because that was exquisite. That should be broadcast to the entire planet. Thank you so much, Deborah, for sharing that. I feel like that was such a powerful, from the deepest place, sharing to dream into the unimagined and the unimaginable. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Thank you, my brother, and all of my brothers and sisters.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Deborah. We're going to have one more visionary sharing, Brian Russell. Then we're going to have Kristen Hoffman bless us with her music. Then we're going to hear a poem written in real time during the event today by the extraordinary Victoria Friedman. And then Kara is going to share with us this graphic, visual representation of our collective visions for a new earth. My honor to welcome Brian Russo. Brian Russo is a evolutionary leader, humanities teacher, holistic designer, and healing sound practitioner. He is committed to implementing whole systems solutions to co-create a regenerative world that works for the good of the whole. Brian, welcome. Thank you. And great to have you with us.
Thank you so much, Ben. Beloved community, it's with humility and gratitude that I greet you today, tonight, tomorrow, or wherever you are. And thanks to Ben and the Unity Earth team for asking me to share my vision for New Earth. And with that comes the recognition that this is our vision of New Earth. So I'm happy to share my thread to weave today in that great tapestry of our collective vision. So if we can just begin here, or we're much beyond that point, but at this point, if you join me in taking a breath right through the heart, and as we exhale, sending that love and good vibes to everyone here, to the earth, to the universe. So when we connect to that space, we feel that presence. Our vision is seated in that heart-centering breath. And in connecting with that space, we realize that great open secret that the new earth is here. It's all around us in the beauty of nature, in the loving presence of us all, in the essence of new earth that's palpably felt and available. This is a strength we can always draw on if we feel beset by setbacks or this great transition isn't happening fast enough. Indeed, in this state of the Unity Address, it must be said that we are called to be in a greater state of unity for this new earth to fully come into bloom. So with that, I have a little journey to take you on here, and buckle up for the roller coaster ride that is about to happen. One world united in wholeness, with love and justice for all. Let's begin with prior unity, the 0 point of a unified field from which all matter manifests as part of a hollow movement, a movement of the whole. As Matron and Varela knew well, you can't get a whole from a part. The universe has emerged from a self-organizing dynamic whole, which all of us are interconnected to. And as members of the Hollow Movement Network have stated, this prior unity is an inherent expression of the nature reality. So it follows that in the ebb and flow of eternity, our new earth is one with this original unity of consciousness. Right now, our community is answering the call to converge in collaborative coherence to usher in an era of wholeness that is aligned with the greatest good for all. And as you can see in this picture, this thread of DNA, it begins in the vastness, in the womb of space, of God. And this is the great work that we do, this great play of embodying New Earth here so that we can carry on this love far beyond this point of time through our lineages. So as a whole systems thinker and hopefully a whole systems doer, I like to start with envisioning New Earth from the big picture perspective, where there's no limits to potential and all possibilities are possible. Now, I would add some animals and some animals and plants weaving in here too, but you get the idea in this, that we're weaving New Earth as one, reflecting our light towards one another to shine brighter together. Starting in a circle, expanding out, we are lifting each other up so that each of us has the capacity to fulfill our role in the whole. This community here tonight, you all have your place in our holding and healing of the whole. In this image, we see this artist symbolizing the image of the future, a framework developed by futurist Fred Pollock, who discovered that there is one causal factor that enables a shift out of the dark ages and into a regenerative civilization. And it depends on a small minority of people at the edge of culture holding a sufficiently coherent, positive image, an image of the future. We're holding that, we're implementing it systematically, artistically. Renaissance painters who sparked European civilization's emergence from the Dark Age, we're doing it again. So here is this map. It's a potential map of sectors that we can establish. And I'm taking my whole systems design approach, Rainbow Circle, to this. And I'll explain why I wanted to create this system to interoperate with all other systems and give people many lenses to view the new Earth from, because indeed this is the unity in diversity. So here is a second view, which corresponds to the number aspect of everything. And in this view, we also see New Earth as a clock, that these sectors can be viewed as time itself. And yes, I'm taking some metaphorical license here, but metaphor drives our ability to see one thing in terms of another. It's what unlocks our understanding of interdependence and unity. So we can take that clock and we can see how it moves to a different scale. We are living this new Earth in relation to the rhythm of these cycles. And of course, all these beautiful colors, the vividness of everything in the spectrum that we are bringing forward in the new Earth. And of course, it's all music. And when we take this to the realm of language, our way of expressing new Earth consciousness, we enter into these different archetypal domains, these timeless expressions of the aspects of reality which support us in envisioning our universe and our own psyches, to see the outer and the inner and know they're fundamentally connected. As Michael S. Schneider said, nature itself rests on an internal foundation of archetypal principles symbolized by numbers, shapes, and their arithmetic and geometric relationships. I've mapped out thousands of words and categories in each of these domains to create this entire archetypal library of collective subconscious. So what can we do with that? Well, we can make our own circles. For example, the first domain in red, it's all about beginnings, right? Like the beginning at 12 o'clock, it strikes. So here is one circle, and this is a circle of self. So we can see that we see ourselves in all of these. And as it goes down through this repetitive pattern, we can't help but see the same things that are appearing in the same places over and over. And I believe it's this insight into pattern recognition that's going to get people aligned and resonating with what we can do. So I'll start off on a journey, and I'll say that the first domain is all about life, biocentrism. And I love this picture of Hidden Energy by G. Manning and Susan Manowich. And the idea is that there's little trim tabs. There's things that we can do. Like when we unlock free energy, it exists. We know it does. When that can be taken and scaled out, think of all the other things throughout the whole system's health that change and scale up positively. Or if we go into the second domain, we're talking all new values. It's no accident that the return of collective intelligence is also the return of the avatar. So we are the weevolution here. And everyone deserves the prosperity and abundance to have that happen and do it together. Music is the lifeblood of this. The music of Pato yesterday, feeling the unity, feeling the vibe of Lila singing, of Kristen. It's all just this amazing upswing of feeling. And that's expressed through song, and it's expressed through word, as Jude spoke about how we're now converging the separation that took place, and we are emerging and reemerging as this, telling this unitive narrative. And as we heard today, the world is created as it is told. So Jean Houston, as she went around the world trying to help people and bring about this new earth, really, she found that using their stories from their perspective and seeing, as Bob said in his book, A New Story of Wholeness, how this is about the universality of these stories and how we get to tell these stories together in all aspects of creation. And this is it in our fourth domain, our home, one family. It's this principle of care. It's how we build our structures, holistic design, going into the creativity with what Joe Brewer has shown through the design pathways. And really, education is here as well. So what does the New Earth education model look like? As someone that teaches humanities, I'm constantly thinking, what is it that humans need to know? And we need to keep updating this curriculum. Health in the sixth domain. We look at the body system of ourself and realize that as above, so below, the earth has these points as well. And when we're able to introduce that release and introduce the healing, we can bring back earth into that optimal flow. So we're doing this at all levels. And we see through the story of Gaia, which Jude so beautifully talked about. This, by the way, again, shows what I mean by a rainbow circle, where you have the thing at the center, whatever it is, whatever arises in these different domains are corresponding to the words and concepts that are already there. It just takes that initial input of learning the archetypal relations. So there's a lot of wisdom in understanding this, and it's a convergence of science and spirit. Teaming in the work of Tamsin, we are the superorganism. This is another lens that is true. It's in nature, but it's also a metaphor in our consciousness that we're literally teaming together. We can be looking at what nature's doing. This is biomimicry, also some have referred to it as biointegration. So we're following nature's time-tested patterns and seeing that we can use those solutions, and not just for ourselves, but for all of nature, all of life, and all forces unseen. This applies to how we think about the universe, the physical constants that define this reality, and see that these laws don't change here, and we work within them. And that's how we create New Earth, by listening to what those laws are telling us. Or looking in domain 7, which is all about relationships, and seeing how we can move between these and see how shared values can lead to trust, or how any combination of them really lead to each other. And of course, Dr. Elena Mostikova's work in Unity of Justice, this is the spirit of our times. We're coming together for planetary cooperation, these people forming peace. We're doing that right now. The Shanti, this peace, this feeling abiding in the heart that we are whole. In Right Relation, one of my mentors, Diani Wahu, Voices of Our Ancestors, everything in this book is about right relation, of walking every step impeccably with that creation, and what Mindahi has done in showing us that we're carrying forth this lineage of our ancestors.
Brother Brian, I'm just going to jump in here and say if you can wrap it in a minute. That's amazing stuff, but Kristen's got to go soon. So if you can wrap it in a minute, that'd be great.
Natural law, of course, being incredibly important. Unit of economics, learning how we can get out of credit fraud and create a new payment system. Seeding change with the fountain and basically 4 cups. This is creating a new way of doing finance and creating a digital world through a unification map, where we can look at all the indicators for the health of our planet, map them out, indicators right here. And then with water indicators for the rivers, creating steward networks, looking at all of this in the great net of all our organizations. This is community. This is economics, or this is economics to economics, David Corton's work. This is us right here. This is our network, is the global eco village. Findhorn is doing this. People on the ground enacting the solutions, the circulatory flow of resources. I think this might be an older picture of Kurt here. But this is the coming of the interspiritual age is upon us. So thank you so much for taking this hero's journey with me. Thank you so much. You can learn more and see this presentation on Rainbow Circle. Much, much love, family. And thank you for listening.
Brian, thank you. Thank you. That is absolutely, we do want to dive deeper, as you ask in your last slide. That is, worthy of much more than a 7-minute slot. We need to take a deeper dive into the extraordinary architecture that you've brought together there through those 12, 13 segments. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you for being with us, and looking forward to integrating more of your life's work as a young evolutionary leader that's got a huge amount to offer this whole global movement as we move forward. Thank you, Brian. It was masterful. We need more time to appreciate everything that you've unpacked there for us, and we'll make sure that that happens as we go forward. Thank you so much for wrapping up the visions in such a beautiful way of this new earth that's emerging. Isn't it incredible to see the work that's been done, the thinking that's been done, the integration that has led to Brian being able to map all of that out and include everything that we're touching on. So I know, Kristen, you've got to go. So we are really delighted to have you here with us to close. As we begin to close, we've still got the beautiful poem from Victoria and the amazing art of Cara. And Kristen, if you don't know Kristen, she's amazing. And Kristen is going to help us bring these 2 days to a close. And in particular, this session of these incredible collective dreams and visions for a new earth.
Thank you. I was trying to say I need sound. Thank you so much. Brian, I'm blown away. That was incredible. Wow. I know we're all hoping that this presentation gets put into an incredible video that we can all digest. And all of the speakers today and yesterday, just feeling the energy so beautifully, this new earth being born through our visions from our hearts as we speak in this moment. And so to call in a song story that we all co-create right now, I got one piece while I was listening on Facebook while I was making dinner. I started hearing this little piece of the song puzzle. And it goes, oh, 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 there's a new earth rising, a new earth rising, right? So that's the first piece. And I'm going to create a little drone. I'm going to go into this, and then I want to invite you all to put your visions in the chat. Try to keep it to like a few words, a sentence, and I'm going to see if I can live fill in this song that we all co-create in this moment. And I just love that so many speakers have been calling in the importance of story and the arts tonight. I could not agree more. Story, the music, drawing, dancing, anything that connects us into the emotional center. This is where we really, I think, get the inspiration and feel that spark to make leaps as a collective and as a human family. So here we go. Let's see what happens. trust and love, a new earth rising, where we're dancing that
to call forth our heart. We're anchoring the feelings of gratitude. Lift them up, lift them up, lift them up. Wave your flags of one humanity in the air. Oh, sing with me. Oh, there is a new earth rising, a new earth rising. Oh, Gary, there's a new earth rising, a new earth rising. Oh, Summer and John, there's a new earth rising, a new earth rising. New earth rising. I see Patricia lifting it up, and Olivia, and Karen, and Danalia, and Linda, and Emily. We're lifting it up, lift it up, lift it up, lift it up, lift it up. There's a new earth rising, new earth rising. There's a new earth rising, a new earth rising. This is you all, this is everything that I knew to be true. Wow, I thank you everyone. Loud voices singing out, all our voices singing out. New earth rising, feel it in your heart. Oh, darling, there's a new earth rising, a new earth rising. Hear it in your dreams. Yes, it is possible. Just hold it, sing it, dance it, feel it, envision it, believe it, love it, share it, hold hands with it, whisper to it in the night, pillow talk with it, dance your feet deep into the earth of it. Sing that song that sings on and on and on and on and on and on and on, from heart to 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 heart. Raise your candles high, feel those flames unite, that sacred one flame. There is a new earth rising. Now is the time, now is the time. Compassion passion torches rise, uniting with peace, flame, and unity lamp. We are lighting the flame again, heart to 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 heart. All creatures of this planet, all cosmic beings, all angels, all guides, all ancestors, hear our call. Be with us now, be with us now, as we lift up with you, with you, with you as one family. There's a new earth rising. Hear it on the wind, hear it on the wind, hear it on the wind, hear it in your heart, the winds of 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 your heart. There's a new earth rising. There's a new earth rising. A new earth rising. Carry it with you, this new earth rising. There's a new earth rising. There's a new earth rising.
Oh, wow. Kristen. Wow, that was just magnificent. Thank you so much. Thank you for taking us there. Thank you for bringing us there. And we are there. Thank you. Thank you, Kristen. Thank you. Where are
Love
you?
you all. Thank you all for co-creating that song. We definitely all wrote that together. It was like pouring in. And I love you all so much, dear family. Thank you.
Thank you. Blessings. We know you got places to go to continue to spread the love and the light that you are. So thank you for being with us. We love
I'm
you.
still going to be listening as I turn everything off, but I'm here with you all. Infinite gratitude.
Just joy. Thank you, Kristen. Love, gratitude. Victoria Friedman has been creating a poem as we have been listening to and sharing these visions for a new earth rising. What an amazing bit of music that was from Kristen, Victoria, just to help bring us across into this new earth. And thank you. You're going to share a poem with us written in real time. Yeah, over to you.
Well, I'm going to share a poem that I didn't write a word of. It's not a word that I put into this poem. And because this poem was the words of the people that went around and shared their visions. When whoever you were, you raised your hand and you said a few things. And I just picked up a few words from everybody's experiences and what they were saying. And this is the poem. So this is a co-creative poem as the music was. Okay, thank you. There is an essence. Step out the door of gratitude, and plant a seed to nourish every child. Imagine, design from the heart of the sacred earth unity that recognizes each other and remembers mothers. There is an essence, playful, uplifting, joining together as one, naturally flowing, breathing into,
Naturally calling, and that's what happened.
Call from Greg, sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't turn it on. Call from Greg, turn it on.
You're okay. It's fine. It's fine.
They're calling me.
You are
Okay.
cool.
There is an essence, playful, uplifting, joining together as one, naturally flowing, breathing into a new body in this age of awareness where peace will prevail. There is an essence, that's love. So I hope everyone recognized their words as they came forth from all the different people. I hope you recognized it. It's really fun to see what comes from the whole.
That's beautiful, Victoria. We'll have to like maybe get that typed up and share it out through the email blast we do out to everybody. Beautiful. Thank you so much for holding that and stewarding that and collecting all those visions together from all of the community here who shared. And someone else who's been doing that is Kara, who has stayed up till, oh my gosh, it must be 3:30 in the morning, I think, over there, Kara. Let's bring you in. You have managed to stay up through the night in France to be with us. Thank you so much. What's the process been like, Kara?
Yes, well, I think I started off a bit ambitious and I was trying to get a bit of everything. So it's as full as our visions are full. So I'll share it with you now and we'll just enjoy it for a few moments. And I won't say too much because really just everything has been said so beautifully.
Can you enlarge that even more? There's still a lot of white.
Yeah, it's just on the top.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so just some of the themes are just coming through of that real unity and diversity theme was, and the one of seeing each other as brothers and just all the good things that we wish for, just really coming through. And so my contribution to the vision is just to see it in the future, and it's kind of coming towards us, and we're going towards it, and we just have that sense of that it's time, and we're holding it, and yes, we are ready. Yes, we are ready. Yes, we are ready for who we need to be.
Oh my gosh! Even you just go back to it for a moment. There's a lot. There's a lot to take.
Yeah.
There's a lot to take in there. Just go back to it. You've even captured Kristen's song there across the top of the New Earth Rising, and you've got the essential, some of those essential notes of love your mother, respect your mother, love is Lord. It is time, all children, gratitude, which was so strong, and I love the pictures you've done of the presenters. That's brilliant. Look at the Ruby in a school uniform and Kurt there using his hands to be expressive. Is that what is going on there, or is it that's beautiful? And of course Linda Tucker with the lion-heartedness and the white line at the top. This is an absolute work of great beauty and import. Thank you so much. Health of the whole, which is really in the heart of all of this. And we are guests here. Do the right things now. You've truly captured the spirit and the essence of these collective dreams and visions, being Gaian, empathy, teaming with life, harmony with nature. Women are safe. All are born the same into this place, this new earth. And what an extraordinary contribution. See the flags of one family flying there up the top. And everything you've captured here, Kara, is absolutely, truly phenomenal, as Connie has said here in the chat. So beautiful. The faith communities are in there. You've captured, somehow, you've managed to capture the whole rainbow of elements and integrate it into this stunning piece. So, Kara, thank you so much for staying with us and for helping us harvest these visions for a new earth collectively. You've given us a roadmap for us to hold this picture collectively as our collective vision. We move into the events in March and then obviously into the middle of the year, World Unity Week, and everything else that's emerging for this community and community of communities. This can be our collective banner that we wave, that we hold up high, because it's truly been, along with Kristen's song and Victoria's poem and the other elements that have come out of this, has truly been a collective process that has brought us to this roadmap to a new earth. Thank you, sister. Thank you. Much love, much gratitude.
Thank you so much for having me.
I hope you sleep a the sleep of peace and great accomplishment. You've got a lot of love here in the chat, and rightly so, Kara. That was an extraordinary effort to capture all of that. So let me bring up our extraordinary team here on behalf of everybody who's been a part of this. Where's Yanni? There he is. Yanni. Did such a beautiful job, and Victoria and Irina was the real superstar in bringing this all together and holding this all together. And then where's Becky? Becky, is that you, Becky? Is that Becky? Yeah, that's Becky. So, and everybody, all of our presenters, all of our extraordinary visionaries, what an amazing joy it is to close day 2. And the music we had from Gary Malkin, the extraordinary co-creative process with Kristen, the artwork of Kara. Oh my gosh. I mean, just in closing comments, Yanni, let's start with you. Anything you'd like to share as we close today? And we close the 2023 Unity Earth Symposium.
Boy, have I been upgraded. And all of us. It's like, I'm a little afraid of heights. This is getting a little, anyhow, I'm so grateful for all these beautiful transmissions. The new earth is helping us to remember, and I'm so grateful. Thank you.
Beautiful, Yanni. Thank you. It was perfect yesterday with the interfaith prayers and then the reflecting, and then today really, dreaming, collective dreams, and to have, resources like what's happening with the Sedona event, Victoria, and then you see Brian Risser's extraordinary mapping, and then eco-governance, and what John and Summer are doing, and all the things they're connected to. We have so much that is at our the resources and the blessings and the tools to actually create this together. And thank you for your poem. Anything in closing, Victoria?
John, okay, thank you. Thank you. Well, I think I told Ben in our last meeting that this was going to be great, but it was better. And then I thought, I know, oh my God, it just was really, really rich. So rich, it's just unbelievable. Like a lifetime of richness, and I'm just bowled away. And there's so much creativity. And as I said, the new earth is here. It's just a question of recognizing it and saying to ourselves, this is what's happening, and keep sending it out there. Keep sending it out. They just keep sending it out, and it will take hold of more and more people. Thank you. Amen.
Yes, Sister Becky. Wow, thank you so much for saying yes to this and holding down such an incredible job. You're such a Renaissance woman, Becky. You have so many different talents and skills and gifts. Renaissance of the new earth Renaissance. Thank you for being with us. Anything in closing for you, Becky?
Love, 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 love.
Love is Lord, as we heard from Janice Coyle. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We love you. We're with you. Thank you, Becky. So to close it all off, let's go to you, Irina Morrison, because really this has been your project that you have held down from the beginning. You've held this vision, you've done the work, you've showed up, you've done countless hours, you've been so calm and kind and considerate and thoughtful and imaginative, and you've been a living example of what the new earth is all about. So why don't we close today with whatever you want to share, your vision or anything that's in your heart for us as a community as we close the symposium.
Thank you, Ben. It's been absolutely magnificent these 2 days. Dreaming into the future, but also a confirmation that the new earth is already here. It was it was amazing to see or to hear visions from all around the globe. So having presenters from all corners of the world, from multiple continents, and to actually see that vision coming from all around the world, yeah, it was absolutely amazing. The importance of storytelling, which I think it was kind of an unexpected theme that happened today. That was also quite significant for me to see and witness. And the confirmation of that is this magnificent ending, having Kristen weave the stories from everyone in the room into her music, Victoria, of course, with her words and poetry, and Cara with the drawing. So I think the story that we not just told today, but seeded into the vision of the new earth, it'll last for many, many years, decades to come.